guilty of crime.
Hello, everybody. What's up? I am Jay with Guilty of Crime, and we're back. Happy Friday. I hope everybody can hear me okay. All right, it's Friday. I see you. I see Chatterbox. Now, Chatterbox, I have to correct you on this, my girl. Although I'd be okay if I were a midget, which I think is technically 4'7". I'm 4'11", 5 feet with shoes. Jay from Guilty of Crime is 5 feet tall with shoes. Chatterbox emailed me and said, did I hear you right? You're 4'7", and I just had a laugh. So thank you for that laugh. Thank you. I appreciate you. That got me going. All right. I went to bed like at midnight last night, and I was up at like 5 in the morning, right? So I'm like running on fumes. I took a little nap before we started. I'm ready for Cheryl, ready for Sadie's mama, ready for Nikki, ready for Marilyn, my girl Millie, my girl 5 foot tall, baby, big personalities in a small package. You wouldn't know that when you meet me. You're like, wait, what? But when you see me in my pictures and you hear me, you're thinking I'm like, at least 5'11". Come on, let's be real. Happy Friday. And I'm in a really good mood. Number one, it's Friday. Number two, my room is coming along great. Everything's going smooth. Couple little hiccups, but it's been 11 months. You guys do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. And if you have the means like Sheila Foss to get a membership, please get a membership. Help the channel continue as we are fan funded. If you have the means to PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo, fantastic. Super chat, super sticker. Tonight, we're talking about the taking of Naziah Harris's life. Now, these episodes never get monetized. Okay. Yo, Scary 420. They never get monetized because of the topic of this case is just way too heavy, right? Now, Shannon Harris lied, back in Predator, sending money. Why? The family's doing it, a lot of them. Now, I saw things on this case where people are saying the family's coming back and sticking up for themselves. Naziah's brother is speaking, which some of it I'm not quite sure, but we can talk about that. We can talk about that afterwards. Yes, we are absolutely fan funded. And as we go, the show gets hopefully better, sometimes longer, better quality, better equipment, other things, more people, more means, right? So I appreciate you guys for all the help that you do all the time. And tonight I want to hear, we're going to go through first, we're going to talk about this because we are going to listen to that call that came from Jarvis Butts' brother. And I want to hear what you guys have to say about that. Of course, we'll talk about the 5 CPS charges. We're going to show that, talk about that, show a quick clip. Now, if you don't think Shannon Harris is involved at this point, Y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy is all I have to say. I've been listening to Tootie Uncensored and Ratchet King and all the people that are in the community, out of the community, connected to the community, the family. You guys, I do my research and I listen and I pay attention and I do all that. What's up, Jenza Gypsy? Happy Friday. Again, I do that like I do with the Madeline Soto case. I dig in. And I'm not just doing this case, I'm doing lots of other cases too, which, by the way, next week we're going to have more new cases. I'm looking at your emails. If you're sending me emails and asking me about cases, I see you, I hear you. I might not have answered you back, but I am working on them. Okay. So Kimber Smiles, thank you so much for the $9.99 made me smile super sticker. There you go. Cheese. Jay from Guilty of Crime. It's Friday. And we'll bring out the trigger warning because this is a heavy topic. I haven't put the call-in number. The call-in's not going yet until I put it. So I do have that down below. We're not taking calls just yet because we need to have the topic. And then once the topic's out there, then we're going to be able to arrest Shannon word up like Denise M says. I don't know how to say, I don't want to botch your name, but I know you guys have a lot to say about it because I hear you and I see you and I'm around. All right. Pay attention. So yeah, do that. Email me, go to guiltyofcrime.com, get all my information. We are absolutely climbing 21. We're almost at 21.5K. Angie says, I'm glad you're covering this case. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Her life mattered. And you know what? All the lives matter. Maddie's life matters, but certain circumstances we're going to talk about tonight. I don't understand these circumstances because I didn't, I didn't grow up in them. I've seen them, but some circumstances, like in Naziah Harris's case, were almost unavoidable. Now, it wasn't unavoidable. They did not need to take her life. But I do think that, and I'll put it right out there, I think Shannon Harris knew exactly where Naziah was the day that they said they were looking for her. She gave her directions to the chop shop or the horror shop, which is Jarvis Butts shop. She knew that where she was going. She didn't look for her. 6:00, they all settled in and went to sleep and didn't think about it until the next day. It was very unavoidable, but it wasn't because Shannon and Jarvis were like Bonnie and Clyde. They were working together. Shannon was giving the kids $5 and, Shannon this and that here and there. Shannon was jealous of Naziah. She knew what was happening. She saw the text messages, and on the stand, she read the text messages that she saw even before she sent Jarvis money. Okay. So she knew what was happening. If she didn't help hide the body, then I think that she actually helped give the antifreeze and give home remedies and help hide the body. Very, very evil. And that's what we're going to talk about. Once we listen to what my topic and you listen to the things that are the suppositions, you guys are going to have to say, yeah, Anna says Shannon said she was out looking for. You don't say that about a 13-year-old. You don't say that she's fast. You don't say that. You don't say, oh, she's messing with my man. You don't say that. You go to your man and you say, what the fuck are you doing giving a 4-year-old chlamydia and an 8-year-old? And why are you a pedo from 2005? And what are you doing in my house? And you don't say that about your niece. You're not against them. You're not jealous of your niece or your daughter, guys. I don't understand that. This is not the life that you and I live or want to live, and this is not what we're going to put up with either. If we can't do anything, what we can do is put them on blast and talk about it. So, Barbara, thank you. Woohoo! Alive. Happy Friday. I'm sneaky like that petty, right? Hello, Cheryl. They were supposed to protect her, not feed her to the wolves. They fed her to the wolves and they helped, in my opinion, to get that baby out of there. And when it didn't work, it didn't work, they hid the body. They went to bed. Let's be real. 6:00 came. forget about Naziah. We don't know where she's at. Even though they knew she was heading to the shop, she asked for the directions in the text messages to the shop. Aunt Shannon knew. Grandma went out there and said, "Oh, my baby." And then after she said, "My baby," she went and spent the money that she raised. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Shannon did the same thing. She put signs out there missing Naziah Harris. She knew where she was. If she didn't know where she was, she did help in the situation, in my opinion. Absolutely ridiculous. Hurricane, what's up? Just joining, missed notification. Hello from Florida. All right. So the judge is on to them and they want them for trial because there's not a body, you guys. No body, which means they need to have hard circumstantial evidence, which means witnesses, you guys. It doesn't mean that they're not going to charge Shannon later. I don't know about the grandma unless they start getting her on charges of, we'll talk about that on not take, because she had custody. So if they start getting her on nitpicky charges or money charges or neglect charges, they could do that. But while I'm talking for a minute, let me put this slideshow on so you're not just looking at my face. They live in a different world than most of the population. Ashley, beautiful Ashley, I agree. I love your picture, by the way. Love your picture. And Edith, I don't know if I said thank you for the one Guilty of Crime membership. I appreciate you and all of you that contribute to the chat. What's up, G Dubs? How you doing? Cheryl Bagley, live in Michigan. I don't hear of anyone even searching any longer. No one, no search parties. I don't understand. That's because they don't care. It's because they don't care. They want to put it on Jarvis Butts. He's not talking either. That guy is, that's why the judge said to him, you know what? The judge said to him, "I thought you were mentally incapacitated." I don't know the exact words, but that's good enough for me. That's what I heard her say. She said, "I thought something was mentally wrong with you, and then I realized you're just a typical pedo." All right? That's what she said. That's exactly what she said. And she blasted him. And then she blasted the family. So justice for Naziah Harris. Hashtag justice for Naziah, because nobody is doing that except for the channels that I see out there. And there are some really good channels out there that I will definitely shout out tonight because they are out there trying to create a bill. Look at that sick Jarvis Ramon Butts, even though it says Jarvis for some reason. That guy looks like the devil, you guys. Let's be real. If you were to see a devil, that's what the devil looks like. Him and Stephen Stearns are like the devil. And Naziah is beautiful. She's a beautiful little angel that was lost in the system. CPS did a few reports. They went directly to Jarvis. They went directly to him and they asked him, and he said no. Jarvis gave all of his rights allegedly. Well, we haven't got to trial yet, so there's nothing quite solidified until we get to trial. All right, and when he realizes what's coming for him, and he will, and he has, then yeah, we'll see. Judge basically called him. Yeah, absolutely. And I want to say, you guys, when you guys you're in right now, we're gonna do a call in a bit. I don't have it on yet, but do me a favor, hit that like button. We're going to start watching some things, but I wanted to get you guys fired up. I wanted to make sure you got your attention. I want to make sure you know that hashtag Naziah, hashtag justice for Naziah, because we're the only ones that could do that. Us and the communities that have done it. And I'll show you some of the communities that have. A lot of people aren't. The family's not. The trial is going to start. I don't have the date right in front of me. It's 111, and that was the last picture right there that Naziah took of herself. That was a selfie. So seriously, we're still on 111. That's how many people are in chat. Say a prayer. I don't have the date right in front of me, but I'll check in a minute. So many trials. I think the trial starts March 7th, if I can remember off the top of my head. I'm not the best with remembering all the dates unless it's in front of me. Now, the picture before that, you can start to see really where you can tell she was pregnant. Okay. And she was presumed to be pregnant. I've never been picked for years. YouTube doesn't like me. Presumed hostile. Well, maybe we'll change that. Naziah, yes, correcting my spelling. She was stunning. Absolutely. And she didn't live the life of a normal child, you guys, not at all. She did not live the life of a normal child by any means or imagination at that age. And there's 7 Mile and Roxy right there. I believe that's Roxy. There's Tootie and Roxy and 7 Mile. Those are the bigger channels that have more followers that are out there and getting lots of views. Those are the creators that I know about. Right, there's a press conference allegedly March. Okay, so March 7th before the trial. So I got the March 7th right. Thank the Lord above, because I'm not good at that. Now there, right there was Aunt Shannon with her fake ass self and her fake ass sign. I don't know if the trial's going to be streaming or not because I'm not sure about all of the things, but I will cover whatever I can. So look at this $4,000 reward. I'm sure that money was already spent. All right. She had to grow up so fast. You know, when I was Naziah's age at 13, and when Jarvis started graping her and abusing her at that age, at 11, 12, 13, I was out there riding my bikes with the boys. I was out there swimming. I was drawing. I was having sleepovers. I was at the roller skating rink. I drew quite a bit. I was a drawer. I'm an artist, you guys. I don't know if you guys know that I'm an artist by nature. I'm an artist by I just growing up. I picked up a pencil and a pen and anything I get a hold of, and I draw. So I ended up drawing all over myself eventually and becoming a tattoo artist. I have my degree in graphic design. I'm a creator, all right? So that's what I was doing at that age, and I had no look at that. That guy's a devil right there. I hope he keeps rotting and getting thinner and thinner. He hides behind that mask. He keeps his head down. Screw that guy. And when you guys call in, I'm gonna make sure. Let's try to. I know it gets heated, but let's try not to. Let's try not to use too many, like, we'll try to say abuse and raping and things like that. Let's try not to be too, we kind of know the words, but unless it's necessary. Some of these videos it's necessary, but and I know we get heated, but if we do that, then the video doesn't get out there because YouTube won't put it out there. YouTube won't put it out there. They won't put it in the algorithm if we're putting out these awful, nasty words. So, Michelle, thank you for the 5 Guilty of Crime membership. Michelle Allender, thank you. I appreciate you, girl. And Foxy Amazon for the every 420. All right. Thank you so very much, Foxy Amazon. I hope whoever wants um a membership gets one. And I hope some of the new people that come in here really understand what we're doing on this channel, really understand that we want to see change through and give a voice to the people that don't have one. And not just see something, say something, guys, but see something and do something, like Thomas Karras, right? See something, do something. Naziah, hello, little girl. Last picture of her ever on this planet that we know of. Hi, Britt. How you doing? All right, guys. Now that we hopefully have everybody in here, we're gonna start with a couple of things, and then we'll talk about it. Once you guys start knowing what the topic is, then I know people are gonna want to call in and either tell me what you know about the case, tell me what you think you know, tell me what you heard, or tell me, Jay, you're wrong. This is really what I know is happening in the case. I really would love for you to tell me that because I don't know this case all every day something changes, and it doesn't change on documents, right? It changes on social media. It changes when the family comes out and the family says this or that, or someone says this or that. It's a lot of that because
I'm the last one to see her alive, right?
Yeah. Before it's
all right, so that's Aunt Shannon.
I'm the last one to see her alive.
This is just a clip of Aunt Shannon, but this is what we're focusing on: is Shannon lying, giving money to Jarvis, even though she knows what he's being charged with, what he's done. And why is she doing that? Why is she backing him up? Is she doing it for herself? And you're not late, Wyatt. We just started. I just am getting everybody up to speed. And yeah, we want the drama to stop and everyone to focus on Naziah. Work together. lay her to rest, bring peace. Absolutely. There shouldn't be any drama. It's a little girl that went missing and is not alive anymore and was pregnant, and by a scary, scary way that her life was allegedly taken. We don't have a body yet, so we don't exactly know, but we suppose. All right, listen to Aunt Shannon. Naziah Harris, Aunt Shannon, telling the world to figure it out. Now, this is just a small clip. I have the full clip, but it depends on who's talking tonight and what.
Live, right?
Yeah, before school.
Before school. So what
I
happened?
told y'all that.
So what happened after school though?
He's
So
saying, so you're
the last one to see her alive, right?
Yeah, before school.
Before school. So what
I
happened?
told y'all that.
So what happened after school though?
You figure it out. Y'all got everything right. Yeah.
You figure it out. You figure it out. I saw her. I was the last person to see her alive. You figure out the rest. That's your job. All right. Now, here's another one I'm going to show. And I'm going to show we're going to listen to the brother. Now, things got worked out behind the scenes about the brother. We don't know exactly which brother, but I know Jarvis does have brothers. And there's one brother that did say this. They're saying that anyway, from around the way, from what I'm hearing. And I see my internet's this is not good. Memories is okay. The internet's being a little bit wonky, which is not okay. I don't know how my memory's getting eaten up. I just got this new computer, so we'll have to figure it out. And also the weather is still bad. Let me play this real quick. This is the preliminary hearing, and this is just a part of it. This is Aunt Shannon testifying the stand. They call it testa-lying, right? There's a defense questioning her about the text messages and about the things she saw. So let's listen to this. Just hear it out.
With Naziah about a location on Outer Drive in Belfort,
Yes.
and that was surprising to you, right?
Correct.
Before January the 9th, you had a conversation with Naziah about a location on Outer Drive in Belfort,
Yes.
and that was surprising to you, right?
Correct.
Did you end up giving her directions on how to get to that location?
Yes. She asked me, she said, TT, she said, where is Balfour and Honor Drive? And I told her, I said, you know exactly where Balfour and Honor Drive at. I said, Honor Drive is right where the wine basket at. And I said, you know where Balfour at.
Does that location have any suspicious?
Okay, so did you just hear that? I have to stop because if you guys just heard that, they call her Tuda. They call Naziah Tuda, right? So Tuda calls Aunt Shannon and says, TT, which is Auntie, TT, how do you get to the shop, which is Jarvis's shop, Jarvis and King? And she's telling them right there that she told Tuda, which is we're gonna call Naziah because we want everyone to know her name. She told Naziah how to get to the shop. She's giving her directions, but when she goes missing after school, she doesn't know where she is. She doesn't tell the cops, well, she called me and asked for directions. Let's go over to the shop. She was in fact at the shop at that time still. She didn't leave the shop and get all done until later with King and Jarvis, and then she went to that motel. Janky. It's janky, not wonky. Yeah, there you go. It shouldn't be janky though, because it's all new and everything. Scary 420. Good to see you, Synth. Good to see you back. Thank you for the Guilty of Crime membership. Welcome, sweetie. Hit the like button. All right. Yes, Britt, she's full of shit. And the judge saw it. We heard the judge tell the whole family, you guys are full of shit, basically, right? So we heard the judge call them out, but she didn't. It's not like she's charging them, but she knows they're lying. So this is her talking about Naziah asking her for directions to the shop. Yet at 6 o'clock, they stop looking and go to bed by 10 and then don't say anything until the next day.
Special significance to you?
No.
Do you know anybody at that location?
No, the only thing that I'm used to, I'm familiarized with just picking up Jarvis out of Drive in Belfort. It's just on a corner.
On the corner?
Mm-hmm.
Not at an address?
Not on the address.
When was this conversation that you had about that location? Do you recall?
This was right before Naziah went missing.
Like how soon before? Weeks?
Maybe it was still like in that same week. She went missing.
So she says it was in that same week, you guys, but when they're looking back at the numbers, she had called her earlier that day. She literally just said that isn't where the shop is. It's one of the ladies live over there. Yes. Sinister Chronicles, thank you. But what I'm saying is she's talking about the shop and her asking, "Do you know where Jarvis hangs out at?" Now the address she just gave is a different that we looked at the map and we saw the different corners. So thank you, Sinister Chronicles. Appreciate that. And that's what I want. That's what I want you guys to call in. But she knew where Naziah was. She knew where she was going to be. She knew she was pregnant. She was jealous, by the way, when she found out. She got mad at Jarvis. She read the text messages, and yet she still acted like she didn't know what was happening.
You were asking questions about Outer Drive and Balfour. The only connection you have to that area is Jarvis Butts.
Correct.
Okay, so he's the only one you would
No.
associate with that area.
Correct.
No. No, it hasn't came out, but like I said, we're going to talk about that tonight. And I mean, it hasn't came out, but it's all over the freaking internet. I'll play this clip just for a minute because this is what they're saying. So she's been confronted several times. Even the judge said something's not right here. You guys knew what was up, but I'm not going to play this whole thing. I just want you to know that she's confronted, and there's a whole like 20-minute video. I'm not going to play that one. We're going to focus on her and what we think she did with Jarvis, just a supposition that's out there about what the brother's saying. So how involved? Well, no, we haven't got to trial yet, and there's nothing past what we saw. Hello, Anna. So we'll talk about that when the call-ins come. Absolutely. If you guys want to ask questions. I don't go on Facebook very often. I go on there once in a while, so I didn't see the logs. I'm listening to all the things and piecing things together. So no, but I knew that the phone calls showed that she called her aunt and said, "How do you get the job?" So I didn't see, at 3:44 she called this person. Then right after call, no. But thank you, Bree. I know Bree is on the case and the little things. I appreciate you, but no, I don't go on all the Facebook groups and do all that. No, that's a little bit sometimes, but usually, I get my information from documentation and from people, like direct people.
Hi, what's going on?
They're confronting the aunt about it. And I hope you guys are ready to
Y'all
call
had a
in.
whole lot to say about me online, but now y'all see me. Hey, y'all on the phone. Who y'all on the phone with?
Is that thing 1 and thing 2? I know it's thing 1. So that's Aunt Harris Shannon Harris getting confronted. So thing 1 and thing 2, I believe, are sitting there. That one keeps losing weight over there. So
None of my business. Oh, none of my damn business. You don't want to answer no questions like where's the baby at, man? I said, where's the baby at then? Y'all don't know?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Well, I'm interviewing them.
Come on out. So we have the conversation.
So what kind of what? So why is the lies on the stand? I mean, y'all told me one thing. I don't know which one of y'all is Shannon and which one is Shannon and Marquita. First off,
You see it?
oh, that's why you're looking at me like that.
That one right there. There's Shannon.
So what's the deal, Shannon?
What's the deal, Mark?
So you like fucking with pedophiles, huh?
Ooh.
Am I one? No, of course not. Why, you want to fuck with me? Is that why you asked? Oh.
Naziah, They
You
know.
out the way, now you want to move. Okay, well, go ahead.
I'm not gonna come out here and talk.
About what?
Whatever the conversation gonna be on.
About
You
what?
said we can answer questions, so what's up?
You already asked me questions,
No, I got-
and
I-
I answered it.
I got more questions, so come on.
Come
No.
on. I'm all good. Come on out here and talk. What's the
I
point
don't
of
have to.
answering the questions right here? You
What motherfucking questions? I don't gotta answer nobody's
just said
questions,
you
my
wanted.
dog.
You just said you wanted.
Yeah, they're doing this a lot different now. HC teacher, this is not like, although Madeline Soto and Naziah Harris should be in the exact same category of being abused, and the situation is just so much different. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, but it's like this is the family. This family has generational abuse. And there's so much of it and all this stuff going on. That's why we're talking about it, because it's crazy. It's insane the amount of abuse that's going on between who and what. That's why we're talking about. Yes, that and last night I was watching the what's up, Flossie? How you doing? I was watching videos on Naziah Harris last night, and I saw a bunch of like fighting between 7 Mile and Tootie Uncensored, and I was like, whoa, why are they fighting? I'm trying to completely steer clear of that. But yeah, the whole family is just, it's all over the place. And this is Mark over here confronting last night. I believe that's the same Mark D, right? Generational curses are real. They're fighting. And I'm like, man, what is going on? Yeah, Mark is the man. He's talking on the radio on the show. Is that he's the man that went over there? So we'll watch this for a minute just because this is Shannon and they're confronting her about Naziah Harris and seeing her and being the last person to technically see her. You see, she's not answering, right?
Wanted to.
Who? You did?
Here we go with the retard shit.
You are retarded.
So I'm saying you was the last one to see her live, right?
Yeah. Before school.
Before school. So what
I
happened?
told y'all that.
So what happened after school though?
I don't know.
Figure it out.
You
I got
figure it out.
everything, right? Yeah. Video report.
So now she's running. Like, so now what you going here for? Oh. Well,
Yes, we're gonna. I'm only going to show a little bit of this because I want you guys to see when we get to trial. I don't think they're going to show any of this. They might talk about it. It's probably not going to make it in. And yeah, it's 7 Mile Radio. He raced all of his show and then came back on. And last night when I was trying to learn the information, they both deleted their stream. When I say both, Tootie Uncensored and Mark were having some kind of argument, and I got in the middle. I didn't get in the middle. I got online in the middle of it, and there was cussing and crying and all kinds of crazy stuff. Then it got deleted, and then I went on to 7 Mile, and people were harassing 7 Mile about Tootie. I was like, what is happening? I couldn't. Yeah, Tootie is very blunt, which everybody was sticking up for Tootie, and they went to 7 Mile and were blasting 7 Mile or Mark. So I was like, what did I just run into? I'm just trying to figure out the information on the Naziah Harris case, and it was a whole bunch more than I expected, right? Welcome. Happy Friday, my Leo twin, Sharon Belko. You guys all love Leos, right? All right, there's my Leo twin. Yeah, it's crazy. It's insanity. It's not what we see in the Madeline Soto case. In the Madeline Soto case, we've got the family members hiding. Did you see the kid in Florida found not guilty? Yes, and I'm going to cover that. That's Colin Griffith. Colin Griffith. I want to cover that case so bad. I ran out of the week though. The week has left. Today is Friday, so I'm out of days. Yes, I'm out of days, and I am going to talk about it. Missy Frederick, good to see you. You're working longer, but go ahead and listen. All right, he did, and it didn't make it into the trial, and therefore that's what we're going to talk about. And I found some really good information on that case that you guys don't know about, so I'm going to bring it on next week. Yeah, now Ratchet is on there, and I keep going on Ratchet too, and Ratchet keeps deleting videos or putting them private. So it's really hard to. I can get the information, but then it's gone. Ratchet on YouTube's calling CPS, DPD. Yeah, now Shannon got her children taken away, and internal over Shannon, all them. He wants the kids protected. No, they got the kids taken away. I thought they were taken, but it says they're still there. Okay, yeah, we have a lot to talk about tonight. Let's watch this for a minute because the real topic is going to be next. I mean, we're still on the topic, but what I want you to hear, that's what I want to know from you guys, what you think.
Well, he said he wanted you out of here. You ain't want to leave, so that's why we here.
Oh,
Your boyfriend.
I'm on the phone with the landlord right now. Like, what you mean? Like what you mean? Like, he's here off the track of my love, sister to me. This is house. Who? This is house. This who house? It's our who? It's our house. Tina, don't act like that right now. You can come over. Yeah, you want to leave? You talking about this? You talking some this? But you live with your mama when he moved here.
First of all, he stayed around the corner. He wasn't even staying here. And we ain't gonna do that.
I know.
All right, so that's them fighting. Again, I don't want to be in any of that. I don't want someone to come to me and say I said something wrong or whatever. All that information for me is bits and pieces that I can gather in order to tell you about the case and to fight for justice for Naziah. So I don't want any of that. Now, even the name of this is bad, but I found the I found the AFC podcast, and this guy's really great. He's got a lot of respect. He keeps his things going. Seems like he's just doing his thing and not arguing. I don't know. It's just what I'm seeing. I'm trying to get real information from what's happening. And this is great. He put Jarvis Butts' own brother saying what happened to Naziah Harris. This is what he's saying. And I don't know if it's because of what he heard, what he's thinking, but it's a really good, no commentary on it. And then it talks about the CPS. After that, then we're going to call in and you guys can tell me what you think. Now, yeah, someone has to screen record it, Krista. But here's the thing. Whenever I get the time to even get to these videos, I'm watching them all intently. And then I get the information just in my head, right? So I'm able to pick bits and pieces. And some of it I can't even share with you guys, nor do I want to. If anyone wants to screenshot it, please do, and then send it over to me because it comes and it goes. They have it up and then they delete it. But luckily, my little brain inside this little head of mine holds some information that I can talk to you about. And the real thing at hand is a voice for Naziah Harris and hashtag Naziah Harris, hashtag justice for Naziah Harris, because those aren't even really out there yet. Every time I put hashtag and I go to put Naziah, it comes up as Madeline Soto, Jennifer Soto, Stephen Stearns. So a lot of creators, including myself, since I cover both cases, put hashtag Madeline Soto, hashtag Naziah, because they're very similar circumstances, okay? Very similar. Different communities, all the same types of predators, all right? Welcome. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. This case is crazy, but you guys are just as passionate as I am about justice for children. And what do we do? How can we do something better when you get 5 calls in the CPS and nothing happens until a little girl goes missing? And that was a year ago. It took 365 days for them to declare that. And I don't know how long it took them to declare, but the judge said, we're declaring her not alive anymore because she hasn't been on the phone 365 days. She hasn't used any apps, any money, nothing, you guys. So there you go. Yeah. Resumed hostile. What's up? Rosie? How you doing? Everybody hit that like button. CPS was called in 2022, right? And we're in 2025. So yeah, there you go. There you see. What's up, Anna? How you doing, girl? Good to see you guys. Good to see new people here. I will gift some membership so you guys could be in with the Crime Crew official. All right. So let's watch this. I'll give some memberships. And you guys, like I said, we're fan funded. If you don't have the means to donate to the fan funded channel, all you got to do is like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. All right, and I do want new people on my channel, so I do want you all to share. All right, let's listen to this together. You guys know this, right? Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted, right? We got the Fair Use Act. I put that on my intro, outro. So we're gonna go past that. Thanks again to the AFC Matters. He has a really great channel. I love it. Lots of good information. And he put this out there. It's pretty cool that he put this out there with no commentary. I want to be able to see what's the writing though, and make sure I can hear it before I start playing it. And then we're going to take phone calls. I'll put the number down there so you guys can get it down there, write it up. Jay's my favorite. Love you too. Right back at you. Right back at you. And Cheryl and Sadie's mama, you know I love you. Beck. All right. Thank you. Thank you guys for being here. Yeah. Choo choo. Happy Friday, y'all. I love Friday nights. Absolutely. All right. Let me throw that phone number down there because we're going to talk about that after. And I will take call-ins as soon as we're done here. So let's get done and take call-ins. All right. This is what Jarvis Butts' own brother says happened to Naziah.
You gave that to her.
Hold on.
C-107.
So they've been giving her to try to get rid of the trying to get rid of the baby. You gave that to her, you know what I'm saying, and trying to do whatever he could do. She was feeling sick or whatever. All right, so he gets in the car, drops her off to go back home. All right, when she gets out to go home, she go in the house. Shannon didn't get into it with her. They didn't call and see if she was at Jarvis' house because Shannon already knew she was at Jarvis' house because she called to get directions earlier that day while she was at school. So once she get back, they get the fussing at her for going up to Jarvis' shop and calling fast and this and that. Then it all came out, you know, confirming that she was pregnant, was Jarvis' baby. And Shannon lost it. Shannon lost it real bad and jumped on Naziah, beating her, hitting her in the head with some object right there in that house that they overlooking, and killed Naziah because she was already probably having complications. Remember, from whatever they've been giving her to try to get rid of the baby. Remember, she was sick earlier that day and on the floor. Instead of them calling the nurse, they called the counselor. School failed her. So once Shannon beats on it, she passes out, she dies right there. So they panic. So they get her, the twin sister help Shannon get her into the mama car, and they go and meet Jarvis. Meet Jarvis out there, right where the other girlfriend lives. And Jarvis was going to all these different houses at his different girlfriend house, establishing his alibi. Because he knew what had happened between her and Shannon. He had nothing to do with it.
All right, so if you and I'm gonna there's you see the channel, I'll drop the link. We're talking about this and we're having call-ins. Anybody that wants to talk about this afterwards, and we're talking about Shannon lying, backing Jarvis. Why is she doing that? What's going on with the family? What do you guys know? What have you seen? What's next? And justice for Naziah. So anybody that wants to talk about that, we'll probably limit the calls to 5 minutes unless somebody calls in right from there and knows something new and has more to say. But as far as opinions and just wanting to talk, we'll try to keep it at 5 minutes so people have time to talk about it. So yes, the main topic is the brother, Jarvis's Butts brother, is talking about what happened to Naziah supposedly, and he's implicating Shannon and Jarvis. They were poisoning her. Now, we don't have a toxicology report because we don't have a body yet. We don't have a body yet. All circumstantial, and that's why the judge is like, you guys are full of shit, but I still need you for the trial. What's up, Flossie? That's good to hear. Always good to hear that you guys love the channel, and I try to bring you the best content up to date and also keep you involved. Thank you so much, Rosie, for the 99-cent super sticker. You guys know what follows that. Choo choo. If there are 20,000 people that sent 99 cents in, well, we'd be all good, right? All right, justice for Naziah and Madeline Soto and all the children. All right, I put the captions down here because it's kind of hard to hear. If you want to read it, do so, please.
But knew that he was also the last person seen with her and probably would be questioned too about her being unalive. So once Shannon and the sister go out there to meet them out there, they get rid of the body, right? So once they get rid of the body, you tell them, bring some extra clothes or whatever. So you get rid of the body and they throw those extra clothes out, which is working. And I don't understand how that's working, because we know what she had on the day of school. We know what she left, got off the bus with, clothes she had on. But they threw out some different clothes with limited.
And that's a big deal, you guys. That's a huge deal. What we were talking about last time were the clothes that she was last seen in and the clothes that they threw out and the badge, the school badge that was way out there at the edge of town where no one really goes. That it doesn't make sense what he's saying. HC teacher, are you it does make sense if you well, we'll talk about that after. I'm not going to get into it until after. If you want to call in after, that would be great. And Cat H, I'm a tattoo artist. I've tattooed for 25 years. Well, yeah, I'm still a tattoo artist. I have a tattoo studio. I've done some of my own tattooing, yes. On myself, yes, but I do tattoos. Do I do it on myself? I can't reach certain places, or I would. All right, Jen Mac 2403, Jen Mac 499. It's the first of the month. Justice for Maddie. Thank you so much, Jen Mac 2403. I appreciate you. And Minnesota Girl following up with the 1999 super sticker. I appreciate you. Yeah, so I'll look at your comments and everything. And I'd love to hear HC why it doesn't make sense to you what he's saying. Absolutely love to hear. I love that song. It's the first of the month. Wake up, get up. All right, Carolina says, Jay, so is Jarvis Butts' brother going to be a witness? We don't have witness lists or anything. I don't have any of the any trial information. It's coming out March 7th. I've seen some documents, but I don't know. I don't even know his name. We've all been talking about this. Now, him being a witness is interesting because most of it's hearsay. Now, HC says she was seen at the shop and back at the shop. So did she go home? That's what I thought about. That's what we're going to talk about after. That's exactly what I thought about. But now, are we talking about her body? We're still talking about her body, HC. We're not talking about her necessarily being alive. Remember, they were poisoning Nazaya. She was at the nurse's office earlier that day, and they sent her to the counselor. We can get corrected, yeah, in that area. But she was at the hospital the month before. They were poisoning her, is what it allegedly was happening. So could they have brought her body home and then they went and dumped her? Absolutely. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, wait, how did it get from the motel to there and we never saw her again? Well, we don't know where her body is. We don't know what happened between then and then. So that's $2.99 super sticker. Marcy, thank you, girl. I appreciate you. Much love. Yeah, train. When I say choo choo, let's follow what Foxy Amazon says. What's currently being run on Jarvis Butts in jail. That guy is the devil. He looks like the devil driving the train. Let's hope that demon, he is evil. He looks evil. He's hiding out. Let's hope that he gets ran on like he's done to all those children for years. It's terrible. And I'm from Cleveland, love, and the 80s. Awesome. It had to happen after Cordell left, in my opinion. Right. And I love your opinions. So I love when you guys make all the sense. All right.
Amount of blood and stuff on it. Why? Because they only took the jacket off of her, and probably some other shoes and stuff that was already in the house. But she's still buried in what we saw her in, which is that colorful jacket, them jeans, and some other shoes, wherever she is. And I don't think she's buried nowhere where she can't be found, because they somewhere else and make people go search in the opposite direction. So she is deceased, but she was killed by Shannon in a rage because of her jealousy or whatever she had going on with Jarvis. And at the end of the day, The mom and the sister knows what Shannon did, and they're not protecting Jarvis. They're protecting Shannon, and Shannon hoping that Jarvis don't snitch on him, but he's not going to tell until after they try to convict him of the murder, and he see the difference between the time. Remember, his lawyer said they're not going to contest and fight the fact that he had inappropriate relations with her. Okay, go ahead and bound it over. But what we are fighting is murder. Why? Because there's no body. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Now, you do know that Shannon and all of them have already made deals with the DA. Why? Because without Shannon, the mom, King, the fiance, without all those people, they would not have a case for murder against this young lady. So they pieced up parts of their statements and testimonies to present what it was they wanted to present to the court, that he was last seen with it and he's the one that killed him. But believe me, there's other text messages, all kind of messages in their phones that they took. But if they convict them and show that they are also guilty, then who would be on the stand and testify or could testify against Jarvis? Because they all could get up there and just plead the fifth because they all are being charged. So therefore, they're letting them off and letting them go. They made a deal. They agreed to testify against Jarvis and say what it is that they want them to say. In turn, keeps them from being prosecuted and charged with anything. But trust me, they know exactly what happened. They know exactly what happened to her. But they want to get Jarvis and get Jarvis off the street because they feel like he's the problem. He's the ringleader. But
He's a ringleader.
Right now, Jarvis Butts is awaiting trial.
All right, so we're gonna everyone's talking about the CPS things. I showed this on my other episode, but everybody wasn't on my other episode, so we're just gonna watch a few minutes of this, and then you guys can call in. And I love you all being green. Everybody has something to say in chat, so I hope you have something to say. I do have the phone lines on. I hope that nothing happens with that. Otherwise, we'll figure out a different way. But I'm pretty sure it's all good. Last time we did a great call-in show, so let's see what happens here. Everybody has something to say or knows something or wants to say something. I know that, and if not, I have more to talk about because you guys will actually. I have another clip where it shows. Now, I saw HC teacher saying that the clothes were dumped an hour and a half away. There's a guy on YouTube that's just like this small 2000 something now creator, and he goes and takes a walk down where the stuff was found and shows it and talks about the bill for Naziah, which is what we're talking about, is justice for Naziah. What's up, Tamika Riley? How you doing? Grr, Shannon's a problem and has to go. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. She's a huge problem and she's a huge enabler. She gave how many kids to this guy? 5. I believe she miscarried one. Yeah, an hour and a half, not half an hour. I just talked really fast. I said an hour, half hour. Okay, I thought you said an hour and a half away. My bad. Okay. All right. And you guys chat, because that will gift you the memberships. The more you interact, the better chance you have for the 5 guilty of crime memberships that were just gifted. This is definitely disturbing. And right now, you're going to hear how preventable this case was. Desperate women enablers and jealousy. Lovely Leo. Don't forget about the big time jealousy. Yeah, Shannon is thing 1. I don't even know the other ones right off. Shannon, thing 1 and thing 2. Shannon's the one I've been focusing on. Grandma absolutely should be charged with something, but not what Shannon is, in my opinion. But we'll talk about that after. I got gifted twice. All right, Jay, is it worth it? Thank you. I'm a member to my own channel. It's pretty funny. All right, let's go.
Trial for the murder and sexual abuse of Naziah Harris.
After listening to days of testimony last month, a judge called Butts a monster and said that opportunities to protect the 13-year-old girl were missed. Tonight, the 7 investigators are revealing years of warnings that preceded Butts' alleged
crimes.
You
guys.
Warnings that family members say were made to Children's Protective Services that could have saved Naziah's life. Here's what 7 investigator Ross Jones has uncovered.
You look at that face and you do not see the horrors that she had gone through in her short life. The exploitation, the molestations, the sexual abuse, and the pregnancy that she was.
Right after this, I'm going to take call-in. Someone just called, so I know it's working. I promise, as soon as this part's over, I just want you to see the years of warnings. And then I do see your 602 phone number. I do want you to call back, whoever that is, as soon as we get past this part. Just so, yeah, it's raining green, new memberships here. And I believe Shannon was involved just as much as Jarvis. But Jarvis was the one that was doing he was doing well, actually, no, because they were all doing that. All of them are pedos in that family. I know the twins definitely are, right? I believe helped get rid of evidence. Me too. That's absolutely thing one and thing two. Yeah, even the girls were doing that. The call-in number is below. But if I start giving you that now, people will start calling in again. So the number is 408-538-1516. As soon as this clip's over, I'll have you guys call in.
Concealing.
Years before Jarvis Butts would be charged by Wayne County's prosecutor, accused of killing and sexually abusing 13-year-old Neziah Harris, Harris's own relatives say they saw the warning signs and told anyone who would listen.
So that at that point, I was like, this is too much. I'm calling CPS. I tried not just once, but multiple times for them to take me serious in what I was saying.
Kiwana Morton and her cousin Jernell are both relatives of Neziah Harris. In February of 2022, Jernell says she learned of allegations of improper touching involving Butts and other small children. She says she was told about the claims while talking to her niece, Jarvis Butts' girlfriend, and that the alleged victims were Neziah Harris and 2 other children.
I was just like, oh my God, I was not crazy. Yes. This needs to be looked into.
She says she took the claim seriously in part because Butts was on the sex offender registry.
There it is,
spent
too.
more than 8 years.
There's that one we just saw where he looked like a demon. They spelled it wrong. They spelled Jaris, Jaris. In fact, it's Jarvis Ramon Butts. And he's been on the registered list since 2005. That's 20 years ago. They had a 20-year warning, in my opinion, but it was happening to a lot of the other children. We saw that. Her grandpa hugging on her near a bed in maybe a motel, holding something in his hand. It looked like a tall can to me. Jamela's auntie's sister. Why she is a great aunt of Neziah and aunt of Shannon. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and they should care. They should care. That's crazy. Wow. Grandma was banging him too. I think that too, presumed hostile. I think they were all taking their turns with Jarvis. They all thought he was handsome, and I don't know what monetary gain. There's monetary gain, but I don't know who, what. Yeah, 20 years since 2005. He's been on that register list that you see right there. Mrs. O says apparently there was inappropriate behavior between the children. Dumb 1 and dumb 2 are a waste of oxygen. Thank you for saying that. All right, we're going to listen to CPS dropping the ball right here.
In prison for 3rd-degree criminal sexual conduct. She didn't alert authorities at first because she believed her niece would notify police. But weeks later, Jernell did notify Child Protective Services. Her complaint came in on April 13th, 2022. There was an incident at a birthday party, the complaint reads. One of the children that attended the party accused Jarvis of sexual abuse. Neziah, and name withheld, reported that Jarvis touched both of them inappropriately as well.
And it hurt.
Jarvis touched name withheld in her private area, and it hurt. Jernell made the complaint.
Just stopping for a second. So think about that one child that said it hurt. He touched her and it hurt. I'm sure that was happening with Neziah too, but she was so heavily groomed up until that point for years that she thought that was her bae for life. She thought that was her boyfriend. She was going to go see him. They were going to, one day, well, she was already pregnant. So I don't know if he was what he was telling her. I do know that he told her at some point that he wanted to get rid of the baby because he was trying to think of ways to do a home remedy. I'm totally speechless. I can't believe people are acting like nothing is wrong with this behavior. So crazy, right? And that's why we're doing that here on Guilty of Crime and talking about it here. I mean, I'm all the way in San Jose, California. I don't have word on the street. I only have word on the YouTube streets and from you people that I've been watching, paying attention, and listening and following the case. So it's really crazy. Unbelievable. And these two ladies that are talking, the aunties, that's not normal for them either. But it seems like it was normal in that household because they were all doing that to each other, to them, to their own kids, to the nieces, to the Jarvis wasn't even that wasn't even Neziah. It wasn't his blood niece. That was Shannon's whatever baby daddy is all I know. But she was jealous of Neziah. She was calling Neziah fast. She was saying bad things about her. And jealousy is a number one motive for many takings of people's lives and many other bad things too, right?
Complained over the phone.
They basically told me if they needed me for anything else, they would reach out.
The next day,
They
Jernell would
didn't
receive a text from her niece, Butt's girlfriend, confirming that CPS had contacted her. CPS called me, the text reads. They called about the well-being of my kids. Then they called back to get Jarvis info. The CPS spokeswoman would not tell 7 News Detroit if investigators ever questioned Neziah Harris after receiving the complaint.
Yes,
But we
my
do know
girl.
it wasn't the only complaint filed with CPS.
Thank you, Unique. Shout out to Uniquely. Hey, Jay, I made it back. Let's talk about it. As soon as this clip's over, girl, I want you to call in. It's going to be go time. I'll take this down until then so people don't call. But as soon as we're done, I'll put it right back up. We're almost done. I just want people to know that haven't followed the case what the heck was going on. And they were doing nothing about it because they were involved. Right. So let's keep going. All right. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, get a membership if you can.
Naming Jarvis Butts.
And it wasn't easy for me to call protective services just because of the horror stories that you hear.
Kawana Morton said she heard about the same allegations against Butts from a conversation with his girlfriend. 2 months after her cousins called to CPS, she would file her own complaint.
I told them that there's a problem and they need to be aware of it. I am 90% sure that there's sexual abuse going on within the home.
Did you specifically mention Jarvis by name?
Yes, absolutely.
Internal CPS records we obtained show that investigators looked into that complaint, conducting a face-to-face interview with Butts, who strongly denied the allegation. A forensic interview was conducted with the alleged victim, and no disclosures were made. CPS said the home was clean and free of observed safety concerns. The allegation was denied, assigned a low-risk level. These are 2 complaints of at least 5 filed with CPS since 2015, naming Jarvis Butts. They allege concerns about possible molestation, physical abuse, or living conditions. Some of the complaints are generic, and none would ultimately substantiate that Butts was improperly touching children. Just over a year after the last complaint.
And it's so funny that it's not funny. I love that the judge called him out and said she thought something was mentally wrong with him. And then she realized he's a classic pedo. He hides behind that mask. He hides behind everything. Mo, whatever you prefer, Mo Preciado. I had to stop with that comment. I'm so dumbfounded as to how many women in this town actually associated with the known child offender, right? An SO. Are there any other men in this town? He had baby mamas and girlfriends everywhere. And people are still saying that he has more children than he did. And now he was abused as well. From what I hear, at 13 years old, he was abused by an older woman that was his mom's friend, way older, and he got her pregnant at age 13 because the home was clean, really, right? Desperate women, right? I love that judge. I love that part where she just reams them. I can't wait to see. Yeah, and they called it low risk. I don't even know how. We want him to be under the Joe, and we don't want him to be all by himself. We want bad things to happen to that guy right there. Jarvis Butts on all the pedos. Like we said yesterday, right? Just aim. If you guys don't know how to aim a handgun, just take a shotgun. You don't need to aim right at that area, right? Women and men, because the women were doing that as well. Straight out of Cali. Hold on, what happened here? Oh no, I hope it didn't freeze up.
On record, Butts would be charged with sexually assaulting and murdering Neziah Harris.
Damn.
I'm brokenhearted because this could have been prevented. All of it could have been prevented.
Attorneys for Jarvis Butts declined comment for this story, citing his pending criminal case. As for CPS, a spokeswoman for the Department of Health and Human Services said their hearts go out to the family and friends of Neziah Harris. It's state and federal laws prohibit them from commenting on what we just reported, but they are committed to ensuring the health and safety of all.
Yeah,
children.
okay.
I'm Ross Jones, 7 News.
Sure thing, right? Yeah. So that's pretty much what CPS always says, right? Is that how it goes? All right. So I love that. The Mucinex twins and foster mother need to join Jarvis in prison. All right, you guys have heard an hour. You've heard me talk for an hour and 5 minutes, and you've watched the clips and listened to it, and I see you in chat. So I'm going to put the number up below, and you guys, and then share the voice call so you guys can call in now. I can receive calls if anyone wants to call in. And Mo, thank you for becoming a new member. Appreciate you. Awesome. And I don't know why it's saying it's low. I don't know if it's going in and out, you guys. Hopefully that you guys can see me okay. It's showing a low bar, but I'm right on Wi-Fi as fast as it can go. So, okay, you guys, Mo, call in. Anyone that wants to call in, let's still hear good. The system. All right, you want me to refresh? All right, it might mess it up. All right, I hope it didn't mess it up. I refreshed. Let me get back to this. You guys, I just refreshed, so I'm back. But I got the call-in number down there. I know I'm glitching. I just glitched out and I refreshed because you guys asked me to glitch. All right, uniquely, something I've never seen a group where people make offenders a group. People move, change their look, and wear different masks. We as parents and people have to be safe, right? I've never seen a group where people make an offenders group. Yeah, right. I mean, we don't see this kind of case all the time. We see like the Madeline Soto case, and we see Stephen Stearns, and we see more isolated incidents. But with this family, I don't even know what's happening in this family. Now, are you guys not going to call in, or is the line not working? That's what I want to know. A lot of people wanted to. Okay.
Call from Rosie. To accept, press 1.
All right. Welcome, Rosie. How you doing, my girl?
Hi, everyone. Hi, Jay.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm okay. Glad to be here. Sorry I was late taking my granddaughter to, picking her up from practice.
No worries. No worries. What do you got to say about this case? I mean, I know you've been following us, right? You've been following this case. I don't know where.
Crazy.
Right?
I don't understand. Like, he's already in jail. He could save this beautiful little girl now.
Yeah.
What else can he get?
Well, here's the thing is, so here's the thing is, he is banking on, and I'm telling you right now that he's banking on them that one juror not convict him, or maybe 2 or 3, saying there's no body. These are all suppositions. There's a ton of predators in the family. And then we're all pointing at Shannon, right? We're all pointing at Shannon. So since we're all pointing at Shannon, he can point at Shannon. He just needs one juror to say, well, maybe Shannon was involved and she needs to. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
What do you think? I mean, tell me your thoughts. You got 5 minutes, unless you want me to take the next call.
I just wanted to say hi, everyone, so you guys know my voice. I love you. Love you, Jay. Love you, Maude. Love you, everybody.
Love you too, girl.
All
I
right.
appreciate you. All right.
Okay. Take the next call.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too. Bye bye. Thank you. All right, you guys. My internet has a tiny little bar, and I have no idea why. I've done everything in the world to have the best internet. So if you guys, okay, there
Call
we
from
go.
Tony Sadie's mama. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello there. Can you hear me? You're on. Tony. Hello.
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 Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, and I've had a rough day. But I just want to say, this poor little girl seems like she didn't have a chance at life with the family she has.
Right. Right. A lot of people are saying that too. Like there's nothing that could have prevented this from happening. Even CPS. I mean, it was just meant to happen. And with what's going on, it's just, that's what happens in these families and we don't know about it.
I know. But there's a lot of families out there in the same situation that we don't know about. So we just need to pray for them too.
Right, right. What about this case particularly? I mean, who are you thinking that they're all involved? Some are involved? What you know about the
I think that the grandmother needs taken care of.
Okay.
And the aunts, because I believe the aunts is allowing all this to happen. The grandmother's basically in it for the money, I think.
Right. And I also am thinking that all of them were sleeping with him. And I say that because I feel like they were just passing him around.
Yep, I'm surprised there's not a lot more diseases going on in that family that we don't know about.
And there might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
Well, he's more than a gigolo. I'm looking at some of the comments and I'm like, no, he's a pedo is what he is. There's nothing else.
Oh, he is. Yes, he does. He needs to go in that cell down there with Satan Stearns.
Yeah, he's a dirty predator, right? Satan Stearns, that's the best thing that you can say. The Satan Stearns. Let me you keep talking if you have anything else.
Yeah. So I'm hoping, they're not what I was understanding that they gave the twins a deal. I really would like to understand what their deal was. Can they get them on anything?
That's a good question. That's a problem is we don't know. So I haven't heard anything about the deal, right? I haven't heard that they said, okay, like Wendy Adelson, let's say. Wendy Adelson has got this partial immunity where she's testifying and they're not charging, and she's gotten herself out for years. It's been like 10 years. Her kids aren't even small children anymore like they were when she was hiding them. So now they're all grown up and she's still testifying. Now she's going to testify against her mom. So I wonder, and like Jen Soto, are they going to do that with Jen Soto? They haven't arrested her. It's been a year coming up. Right.
I'm just waiting I'm waiting for the Stearns CSAM trial. Something about Jen is going to happen in that trial, and I think that's when the charges are going to come.
Yes, absolutely. And I have the call-in number, you guys. Somebody called in a minute ago, and I had to decline them, but you guys can call back in. You can keep talking when we get another call, or if you're done, whatever you want. I'm just letting people know that.
I just want to thank everybody. Keep on praying. I've been having a rough thing. My feeding tube fell out again, and now they don't know why, and I'm just in wait mode right now.
Well, prayers for you always, Tony, and rest, relax, chill out, and
that's what I'm doing in my new massage chair.
There you go. Put your mind onto something else, and everything will be okay.
All right, love you all.
All right, love you. Good night.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, you guys were still taking calls. Jarvis's brother came out and told what Jarvis told him. I believe it's very accurate. That we just talked about that a minute ago. We just played that, and I'm glad that you said that. I see lots of people in here, lots of questions, lots of things. If you guys want to call in, the lines are open. Tell me what you think about it. All right.
Call from
Pam.
to accept, press 1. To send
Hello, Pam. Welcome. What do you got?
Hi, Jay, and hi, chat. Just had a few commentary about the alleged brother's call.
Okay.
He said some interesting things about, and there was always been talk about the clothes that she had on when she got off the bus.
Yes.
Apparently, when they found the clothes, it wasn't the same clothes she had on when she got off the bus.
Right.
So that part of what he said made sense to me.
Right.
It makes you wonder where are those clothes that she had on.
Yeah.
So
right.
I didn't know if you had anything to say about that.
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if someone wants to chime in and chat, that was what we were kind of talking about earlier. She wasn't, I mean, it was real apparent what she was wearing, right? The aunt said that, oh, someone was chiming. Okay, someone else is calling in, but no, I'll get you after the person that's calling in. No, I don't know what happened. Well, let's see. Actually, let's talk about this for a second. Let's work it out because whatever she was wearing, we saw her last picture. We saw the picture she took of herself.
Right.
We believe she took a change of clothes. And those clothes, I mean, there were different clothes that were left outside, right? So, I mean,
right.
Let's see. And so
apparently the brother, so-called alleged brother, said that when her body was moved, they took clothes to, I guess, throw the cops off or whoever would be looking for her.
Right.
So I don't, maybe to throw the case off or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it was a different set of clothes. And then why would she have a change of clothes? That was my question.
So that's a good question. That's a good question.
Why does a kid need a whole change of clothes, sneakers, the whole thing?
Well, I say because she thought Jarvis was her man. We saw that it said Bay for life. She was looking forward to go see her man. She's not.
Right.
That's not. But in my opinion, if I were, in a relation back then, let's say when I was old enough to be in one, if I was going to go see my whatever, right, my significant other, I would definitely go to school, take a change of clothes. She figured she was going to go to the shop, clean up, and then go to the motel with him after, and that's what happened. So why wouldn't you take a change of clothes if you're gonna go?
Well,
She had to wear. Also, another thing is
yeah.
she wore like an academy outfit for school. She was at an academy school, so they
Right.
wore a certain thing and certain colors. So she had a black jacket on, and we saw the clothes her last picture she was in. So in my opinion, why wouldn't you take a change of clothes if you're going to go see your man after cleaning up a shop? Now, she was abused, right? So, I mean, why wouldn't she have that in her backpack? Uniquely, says Jay, do you think the brother being a cop helps them from going to jail or being accused? No, I don't. I don't think that. I think that the only reason that nobody else is being arrested is because they don't have a body and they don't have a case without a school uniform. Thank you. I couldn't even think of it. I was like an outfit, a school outfit, uniform. I'm reading this comment. I think that exactly what the brother was saying, that and without witnesses, they don't even have a case. They don't have DNA. Those clothes don't have somebody's DNA on them that says they did this. There's blood that says none of that. It's all suppositions and text messages, right? And the motive is that.
Well, I thought they.
Go ahead.
I thought they said during the court case that they did find Jarvis's DNA on something, one of the jackets or
Oh,
something.
I'm sure, but she was with him. So if they did,
Yeah.
she was with him. King admitted, they admitted to being with her, picking her up after school, and then parting ways.
Right.
Now, we wouldn't even have known about them going to the motel had the police not looked into that and seen or whatever evidence they had, whether it was video or the pings, because the biggest case they have are the text messages, some of the videos, and then all of the family's testimony, right? Because even on the stand, thing one and thing two, right? Thing one was turning against him, acting like, oh, how dare you? She knew what he was
right.
Oh my goodness, Billy, I'm gonna break up with you because you're dating my niece. Well, you shouldn't even, that should not have even been a thing, but that's how she acted, right? So all of them
Right.
were, the judge even said, they're all acting on the phone, they're all acting on the damn stand. And what case do you have? Wipe these people out. You tell me. Wipe these people out, and what do you have? Some
Well,
clothes
it'd
and
be nice if you could get the alleged brother on your show. That'd be great.
yeah, I don't even know where that would be absolutely great. I'm trying to reach out to people in that community that are finding, or even I don't even know if they're from that community, but that are covering the show. So let's see how that goes. I'm far from that community, but I'm paying attention and I'm hoping that'd be nice for me to be able to collaborate or get somebody that knows. And that's why I'm having call-ins too, because I encourage someone that's from there to call in and say something that they know about. School me on this case. School me, please. But,
Okay,
all right.
well, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, appreciate you. Have a good one. Happy
All
Friday.
right.
And uniquely,
Same to you.
Thank you. Have a good one. All right. Call ended uniquely. If you want to call in, you can call in, Jay, to say all that was a play to say all that was a play to manipulate the case. How do we know if the blood was hers or she had been taken out? The story we're all talking about is a cover up. Yeah, we don't know that. I don't 100% believe. Before I even heard the brother talking, I didn't think all of that. I didn't think that they would have took her out, right? I didn't think they would take her life and then drive back over and do all this and cover up. That's not how I felt. But what I feel like is that Shannon 110% knew, and what in her head, Naziah was sleeping with Jarvis, right? Not and moving in on her boyfriend or her baby daddy. Instead, it should be Naziah was being abused by Jarvis. So that's the big difference in this case. So I'd love to hear your voice and your take on this. You guys, let me know. You guys got call in the 408-538-1516. If you don't call in, I'm going to put in the next clip. All right.
Call from.
Or her baby daddy. Instead, it should be.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
I'm not sure who that was, but hello? Did you hang up? They hung up. Call ended. All right, you guys. So we got the next call, or I'm going to pull the next clip up. And thank you, Sharon. I just saw the Venmo come in. Thank you. I will gift some memberships. I'm going to start the next video that talks about what happened. Now, you say, Kimberly Johnson says, bitch at work causing trouble. Interesting. What does that mean? I mean, 408-538-1516, you guys. 408 538-1516. If you want to call in, Bree, you can call in. School me on this case. Go ahead and school me. Couldn't work out the name. Yeah, you can call in. Otherwise, we're going to go to the next clip and you're going to see what I'm talking about in the area, what happened, what from the bill that they're talking about doing, etc. So, and I can always stop and take call-ins, but okay, well, let's take a call in.
Call from.
Sharon Belko.
Oh.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Hello, Sharon. How you doing, my girl?
Hello, I'm doing well. Hope everyone else is having a nice Friday.
Oh yeah, definitely. True Crime Friday, right?
There we go. Nothing better.
You're right.
Well, there are better, but wish we didn't have this kind of crime.
Right.
Jay, this whole family's sketchy. And I
Absolutely.
just read that one of them was a police officer.
Yeah, that's what
Is
we're
one of
talking.
her relatives a cop?
I'm sorry. Is that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, so they're
Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I don't.
No, they're probably gonna
Don't talk. You got to
you
talk.
go ahead.
Be that confident Leo you are. Come on, I'm gifting memberships while you're
I
talking.
am.
Tell me.
Good.
Yeah, tell me what you
Good.
think. I'm gonna
So I just feel like anytime there's a cop in the family, things get covered, things get put under the rug, things get, because it's that dirty little secret in the family.
Right.
There's too many families out there like that. And we all know too well. The whole motel thing.
Oh,
Jay,
God.
I was taken to a motel by a grown ass man who was my stepfather. And there were men in there waiting. So I feel so terrible for what happened to her. And somebody knows where that baby's at.
I'm glad you said that, Sharon, because I've been wanting to say that, and I just have been talking about other stuff, right? Absolutely, I feel that not only just somebody, not just one person, not just Jarvis, in my opinion, but at least two people. When I say at least, and again,
absolutely.
Thank you, Sharon. I just gifted 5 Guilty of Crime memberships. That is from Sharon. She sent me the money, and
Thank you.
and I gifted those to you all. Sharon's my Leo twin. That's my girl. So thank you for calling. I saw Bree calling in. She called in right after you did, and it's like, okay, good. Then we'll have more callers. You guys, if you guys want calls,
Yay.
if you want to have a call-in show, you gotta call in. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
I'm glad I didn't miss this one.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't too. I mean, as far as that, Sharon, I'm sorry. How old were you? I mean, if you don't mind talking about it just for a second, or not, if you say
You know what? Oh no, I am all for ending this or stopping cycles, breaking cycles. I was 5 when my mom met my stepdad, but by the age 12, I was taken and shared, and my mom knew all about it. And she was one that would say, "You're trying to steal my boyfriend." And the school system knew back then. Oh yeah, the school system knew.
No, where? Okay, where was this?
So, St. Charles, Missouri. Yeah.
Sharon.
So, when they did the scoliosis test where you had to wear the halters under your shirt, so they could check your spine, I went with like razor marks on my back from a belt because she thought I was trying to steal her boyfriend. And I told them. So a lot of times schools don't listen because whatever story that parent wants to make up, they'll make up.
Right.
And she totally got away with it. And she was one that pinched you under the table if you said the wrong thing. So there's so much of that out there. So much.
I'm glad
I ran away.
I'm glad you're speaking up because when we're listening to and we could talk about the Madeline Soto case, we're talking about Naziah Harris, we're talking about Madeline Soto, we're talking about any children that are being abused, but really we're talking about this case is like Madeline Soto because the women in these girls' lives didn't protect them. And what happened to you? I mean, that's almost unbelievable. Although, even though
the whole family knew.
Yeah, your family too. I mean, their family, but I mean,
the whole family knew. It happens so much more than people realize or think.
I mean, that's
mind blowing.
You were 12 years old, and your mom knew that her husband.
It started when I was 5.
What the? I'm sorry.
5 to 12. And then I started running away. And believe it or not, I was in detention center because I kept running away. And I told them, and they still sent me back home. So finally I left and never looked back. And today I have 2 healthy children that never would anything like that happen. I would stand in front of a train coming at them.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah, you're my Leo twin. We're mama bears, boys, girls, whatever. Our children are come first. But I'm sorry, so sorry that happened.
absolutely.
But the only thing you can do at this point now is raise awareness. I mean, when we hear you, I see everybody in chat like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." That is not a far stretch from what was happening with Madeline Soto and Jen Soto. I think Jen was jealous.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. In the beginning, it was like, okay, you know, it was happening, whatever. But the closer they got, the more phone calls that were transpired. Every time he called and wanted to talk to Maddie and not her, whatever, jealousy and jealousy and jealousy. I mean, your mom, what did your mom say to
Yep.
you? I mean, what the heck? For first of all, 5 years
Oh
old.
my God.
What?
Years
Yeah.
later, she said, "You're still mad about what may or may not have happened." And she's in hell now as we speak. And that's where she should be. Like, there's a whole family out there that still lives that way. We just choose not to
Right.
have anything to do with them. But Jay, you know what? I got straight. I found so much strength when I found your channel.
Well,
you have a message that you bring out to people the way they can understand it. Like I say, I'm a visual person, but it's down to earth. It's so genuine from the heart. I would not have tuned in if I thought it was anything other than that. You have a soul shine that touches people.
Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you as a person already. You know that you and I are friends off the screen, but I didn't know that about you. I mean, I didn't know that like that deep what was going on with you and I don't
Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
why I said the more people need to get it out there and not just be a show about something. A lot of channels are kind of like scripted, like they're reading from a page, but you don't. You're real,
Right.
and more people can relate to that. So that's commendable. I'm so excited for your dream, Jay. More people, and maybe things will change.
Well, we're definitely going to be loud about it, right? We're not going to be quiet about it. Even you talking about it and letting everybody that's going to watch this and rewatch this video know that that's not a far stretch from what happened to freaking Madeline Soto, and not a far stretch from what Aunt Shannon and Nazaya and the Jarvis thing. It's not a far stretch because that happens. That happened a lot. A lot of people that I know in the past that's happened. I've heard their mother jealous of their boyfriend or whatever, and they knew they were abused and they looked the other way. Now I have a question for you. Is your mom still alive? And if so, do you have a relationship?
No, she passed away. And I really didn't have a relationship with her anymore when I left home.
Right.
I was on my own when I was 15. I didn't care if I had to sleep in a cemetery, which is what I did a couple of times. And then I met somebody that changed my life, or else I would have been back there. But he's a wonderful man. He's the father of my children, and I really think he was an angel sent to change my direction. And we're good friends today.
Right.
And I thank him all the time. I really do, because it takes a lot of therapy. Not so much got to take my meds, because it wasn't for me. I just needed to talk it out.
Right.
I just needed to be heard. Yeah.
And
but I did.
Yeah. I mean, that's
I did have a.
You did
Well, I
have
had a
what?
baby when I was 14. I had a baby when I was 14, and I put her up for adoption, so she didn't end up in a family like that. And while my 2 children are stable, great jobs, kids are wonderful, the one I put up for adoption just recently told me that happened to her. And I am about to flip on St. Charles, because that was not supposed to happen.
No.
So yeah, I'm loud. I am loud. Yeah. And it's crazy, because I really thought I was saving her.
Oh my
But
God.
maybe now is the time. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it is. Everything happens for a reason, even if it sucks and it's
Absolutely.
terrible, right? I always have that frame of mind. Everything happens for a reason, even the dumbest, littlest, stupidest things, from that to the worst, horrible things. And my heart goes out to you, Sharon, and to everybody that's come to me, emailed me, and talked about the abuse. Think because I might not have the strength to do this if any of that had ever happened to me, right? I'm just a kid that grew up with a mom and a brother and a stepdad that didn't pay attention to me at all. He was a jerk, but he didn't pay attention to me. He didn't do anything to me. I was never abused or anything like that. I kind of was a little spoiled brat because my mom spoiled me, and but I definitely kept it real with people. I've always been the same. I've had the same frame of mind, and I've always wanted to help people or be around people and support people, but I don't think I would have that strength if any of that happened to me. So I appreciate you sharing that, because it lets people know
Well,
that that's
I
happening.
want to tell you, Jay, it's your soul shine. Whatever it is, even if that didn't happen, you somehow touch the people that it has happened to.
Right.
But it doesn't have to define you. And it didn't define me. Like, it's reshaping the future for people that are going through this now.
Right.
And channels like yours and people like you with your soul shine. And I always tell you that.
Yeah.
Shine it bright, because that's what the world needs.
Right. Yeah. And
but I'm gonna let Bree call you.
Oh, Bree. Okay. All right. Well,
I'm gonna let Bree call you.
thank you. I thank you so much for talking about that.
Jay, I just love you.
And I love you too. I love you too. Thank you for opening up. You didn't have to do that and telling us. I mean, it really helps for people to know that those things are still happening, because when we all talk about it, people are like, no, like they act like it doesn't
no.
happen. It happens a lot.
No,
Just
they
because
happen.
if it
They
did,
happen.
and who knows? Like I said, if it happened to me, I might not have the strength to do this. And so I could do this because I was a spoiled brat that my mom bought me everything I wanted and did everything for me. And I ran around like a little punk, going and getting tattooed. And, I didn't do anything bad, but I think Bree's calling. I'm gonna answer that just because I don't want to miss it. But I love
Jay,
you.
I love you.
I love you too.
I'm glad I made this.
And if you have time, let's talk this weekend. Talk like on the
Okay.
phone. All right.
Absolutely. All righty.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Call from
Leanne.
Oh.
To accept, press.
Hello, Leanne.
Hello. I
How are you?
guess I busted Bree. I'm sorry. I
You
shouldn't.
That's okay. No worries. We got you now. Again, we're
love you.
talking about everything that you guys want to talk about tonight. We're all on the same topic.
This is great. Therapy night at Guilty
Right.
of Crime. There is something, and I've been apologizing for it for so long, and I really love your viewpoint on it. And that is, as a nurse and as a woman, I have tried to help, like you, a lot of different people at all realms of life. And I luckily had an amazing father that was protective and funny. And he was a Leo, of course. And
of course,
he allowed me to be me. And my mother was a little tense, let's say, and he was not. He was just loose and free and easy going. And the thing of it is that at one point when I was growing up, I was stalked, and I had no idea about it. Somebody had called the house and told my dad what they'd like to do to me. And from that day forward, I didn't answer the phone. He would always answer it. There was a double barrel by the door.
Yeah.
He took me to school, and I'm like, I thought every girl had a dad that was just this attentive.
No.
But he had gone down to the police, and there was no stalking laws in the 70s or anything. So he took it upon himself to make sure that his girl was safe. But he loved women and he respected them. And because he came from a family that during the Depression, they all went to college.
Right.
His dad worked at a railroad, so even the girls. And so my voice counted in my home.
Right.
And he always told me he had this great saying, and I'd like to really dedicate this to everybody in this group.
Yes.
And that was, I don't know why women want to be equal. Hell, you used to be superior.
Right. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Right.
It
Right.
is. And that's from the moment I came out, that was the way I was raised. And
I
I
love
know
it.
I know my abilities, and I've never felt better than anyone, but I've like, you want to help. And I've had people go, well, you weren't raped, or you weren't gang this or sold, or no, I wasn't, but I can empathize hearing other
Right.
people's stories. And I just want to stop apologizing for being raised with a wonderful family. I mean, it wasn't easy. My mother got
No,
cancer,
no. Yeah, we all have our
and
things, but I can
right.
relate to what you're saying right now because sometimes I feel bad like that too. Like none of that stuff happened to me. My mom was my warrior. My stepdad
Right.
was just there. He was a jerk. He just didn't.
Yeah.
He tricked my mom into marrying him by giving us gifts and being nice. And then once they got married, he just was like, "Ugh, the kids. Those are your kids."
Right.
And they were married for most
Oh,
of my whole life, right? So until I
yeah.
was 18, but whatever. I mean, nothing bad happened
Yeah,
to me. My mom was my warrior.
exactly. And also, I'm a pancreatic cancer survivor, and as of February 24th, it'll be 19 years since I had my surgery, and I was given 3 to 6 months to live in 2006. So I'll tell you what,
Every
I
day
am
counts.
lucky. Oh, and, we have everything but time. And I love everybody in this group. I tell everybody I love them because, I have been to the edge, but I didn't come back to become an idiot. I learned something here. And your group has so just enveloped me and loved me for being me. And even though I trip and I burn the dinner or whatever,
Hey, all good.
I
I love good vibes, and we all are. We have our uniqueness about us that
yes,
brings us together. And we all,
right.
if we were all just the same, we wouldn't be able to empathize or help each other or whatever. It would be boring, also, right? So
Absolutely. And the one thing I discovered, though, there's always a price for everything. And I have these amazing cards that I use, and they're Viking. But the question is, what are you willing to sacrifice to get what you want?
right.
And I've never thought about
No,
that.
I
And
have a lot of times,
oh,
many times, many
yep.
times. Well, I mean,
And
we're talking about the universe and karmic and energy now because people don't quite understand that. And I'd love to have a huge conversation about that because I think people don't really understand like energy and vibes and the things you
right.
put out there. And
I would love to come on and just Q&A, whatever. Because I think what I've been through,
right.
I have been enlightened in ways that were very unique, and I'm very humble and want to spread the wealth and help other people and just be a light. I'm a
Right.
bright one. I'll tell you. But
Yeah, we can tell by your voice. We all love your voice, and you're so just like cheery and it's great. So thank you for that.
listen.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, because of this group now, I'm no longer Leanne. I'm sorry, Lundgren. I am Leanne. Badass. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
you are. Yes, you are.
You've given me strength to not apologize for being who we are. And each unique woman or guy in this group is like a mosaic. We're all shattered, but put back together, glittery and beautiful and unique. And that's, I think, why we all fit.
Right.
That makes sense.
I know, I
So-
agree. It does make sense. And you and I vibe, and I
Yeah.
understand a lot more. I'm not as dumb as I look, right?
Never.
I love
mean,
to
I'm
say that.
drawn to you.
I'm
You
not
didn't
as
kick me
dumb.
out of the group like everybody else does. It's like,
Yeah.
who's she? out.
Yeah, no. We're good. We're good. I understand a
Okay.
lot more than many people think, but let's see.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so if Bree wants to call in, we should let Bree call in and tell us a
Yes,
little
let
bit
her
about.
call.
Yeah, I want her to school me. I want her to school me on the case. I really do.
Please do. And listen, I thank you, and you are just a light. You draw the right people and the best and the brightest, and we're honored to be here with
Well,
you
thank
and
you.
support you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for calling. I love your voice. We all love your voice. So we're gonna
Thank you.
you have to call in every single time, okay?
Just to soothe the savage beast.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
All
next. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe. Okay.
right,
Thanks,
girl.
honey.
I love you.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Love you
Bye.
too, guys.
All
Bye.
right, bye. All right. That was a really good call. That was Leanne. And in here, I think she's called Badass Tarot. Yeah. Thank you, Miss Odin. Hello, everybody. We're talking about we're talking about the phone call there. Here we go.
Call from Brina YT. To accept, press 1.
Well, hello, Brina YT. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
It's Friday, baby. It's Friday. Let's roll. What do you got for me?
All right. So I had asked in chat if you had seen the chat, well, the screenshots that are posted in the group, but obviously you said you hadn't seen them.
Nope.
They've posted some logs of Jarvis's phone calls. And yeah, it happens to show that Jarvis called his one mother, baby mama, sorry, that her name's Latricia, and she
Okay.
lives in the area where Nazia's clothing, the jumpsuit, the hoodie, and her shoes were found. And it shows that not even a minute later, as soon as he got off the phone with her, he called Shannon. And so they're saying that the baby mom that he called is the one
Right.
that he borrowed her car. And so he drove to Ypsilanti in her car. So I find it a little weird that he called to borrow his one baby mom's car when he has
Right.
his own vehicle. Why would he need her car?
Well, we know why
And then
now,
calls
right?
Shannon right after.
Right. I mean, this guy's a piece of trash. I can't believe how many women that even know that and that's what we're talking about tonight. Why are these women backing these predators? But no, it's not. I think more than just Jarvis and Shannon know about not only what happened, but and maybe only 2 of them know where the body is, but they all pitched in, Bree.
Someone knows more than just Jarvis
Yeah,
knows. I would put my life on that. I would
Right.
definitely put my life on that. With everything, with the DNA that they found on her clothes, you can't tell me that DNA is there just because he was around her.
No, I
I'm
know.
sorry, but
Yeah.
no, there was too much DNA on her sweater for him, just to say, oh, it's just there because he was around.
Right.
No, I'm sorry, because the way that Shannon made it sound was most of the time he pulled up, and when he came to the house, the kids would go outside and see him. Once in a while, he'd come in. But
Right.
then everyone started saying, well, when your kids would run out to see him because that was their dad, why would Nazia run out with other kids and go and act like she wanted to go see him too? What if they were just uncle niece relationship? Why was she so excited to see him every time he pulled up in the driveway?
Well, listen, that was one of the lies that was told on the stand when the prosecution asked, did they have just a regular relationship, like a regular uncle niece, which they weren't. Not. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Everybody knew they were on the phone and texting and whatever.
Oh,
Shannon
yeah.
already knew about it by then. So that was a huge, huge lie. They all knew. And that
Oh
was
yeah.
that was
Oh
one of the
yeah.
biggest lies.
And like one of the big things is that everyone is saying that Shannon and Nazia were pregnant at the same time.
Yep.
That unfortunately Shannon miscarried, and that she became really, really enraged and jealous that Nazia was pregnant by Jarvis, and basically told Jarvis, either you take care of it or I will, and
Right.
gave him an ultimatum. And apparently, from what everyone's saying, they believe that Shannon stepped in and that she took matters into her own hands. They believe that, I'm sorry, if my daughter came to me and said to me, hey mom, where's this street and this street? Or even, if she went to my mom or, my brother and said, where's this street and this street? They would say, why do you want to know? They wouldn't just be like, oh, it's here. This is, oh, it's on this side of town, or, oh, it's, it's over
Oh,
here.
no.
They'd be like, why do you want to know?
The second they told her too, they started hating on her through text messaging with other people. I mean, we saw the text message, then there's other ones.
Yeah.
Totally hating on her, like, oh, that girl's trying to steal my man or whatever was going on. That was not the situation. Your man that was with everybody else, including a 4-year-old, was abusing your niece. I do want to ask about the damage on the car, though, because everyone's talking about the damage on the car. Do you know? Have you seen pictures of it? Or yeah, tell us.
They're saying that he was in, like, if you saw where like in the parking lot for his shop and for the Citgo, there's those little cement things that like basically tell you where your parking spots are, and they're yellow and blue. There's one that's kind of off the side a little bit, and they're saying like it's because it's not even, it kind of got moved, and they weren't there for very long, and that he was in such a hurry that when he backed up that he hit it and it made the bumper loose. And then they're saying that when he went and he was driving around, that they suspect that there's a house, that there's all kinds of junk that's been, dropped off, or there's a school. Sorry, it's a school. There's a school that's abandoned. And then when you drive behind it, there's all kinds of junk back there. And someone's actually posted pictures of a bumper that they suspect that's in that area that looks like it would match the baby mom's car, and that it looks like it's the same color and same type of style bumper that would be. But they say that he was in such a hurry to back up out of the parking spot that he hit that cement like block, and that it made the bumper kind of fall, and it was hanging on the clips. And
So,
then because he was in such a hurry, it ripped it off.
People are saying back bumper. Some people are saying front bumper. I don't know.
It's the back bumper.
Okay. So yeah, the back bumper. Yeah. This is Bree. Bree knows about this case a lot. That's why she's calling. Wyatt says, did he have an afro, but he's a white guy, calm voice, not a big guy? No, he didn't have. He did not have an afro. He did have like braids on one point, parted down the middle with braids, and then he cut it off later on. He's he's
we
light
should
skinned.
do like many faces of Jarvis Butts with different pictures of him showing the different stages of
Oh
his
my
hair.
goodness! Just like Wade Wilson, we should do that and expose him. He's an ugly guy, but
yeah,
for some reason,
there's a lot of info being posted there's two main Facebook groups, and like I said before, the one is ran by Roxy, but she pauses it a lot, so to get a membership and to actually join it is very hard, but you can actually still view all the posts. But there's one that is actually like very, very active where everyone's posting. There was actually a new post. I sent you a screenshot of the jail record for Eric Gamble.
I see that. I see that. Yeah.
So they're talking about him and posting the TikTok with him with the bed and him holding a tall boy beer and whatnot.
So it was a tall boy beer. I didn't even, I saw a bed and a tall can. I'm like, that was definitely a beer.
Yeah. In the States and in Windsor area, they drink tall boys, or you get your bottle in tall beer bottles like Maxim Ice. You get it in like a tall brown bottle, like a big bottle of Maxim Ice, and it's like a couple dollars, and it's like a low percentage beer, so like anyone can get it, and you get it at the corner store.
I thought it was like, I was looking and I was like, I wonder if it's like that Four Locos crap where it's like real high, and it didn't even matter. But I thought, he looked like he was having a good old time at Nazaya's expense. And Stephanie's right down here.
Like,
she says,
if my daughter was posting TikToks like that with a grown man hanging up on her, like, I don't care if it was an uncle or, anyone, I'd be like, no, not happening. Like, no. And like, I see these cases and it breaks my heart because, my biological dad was not around a lot. He came around to kind of buy me stuff and to buy my love when like I went to a Catholic grade school and a Catholic high school. When I went to high school, we wore uniforms, and uniforms were very expensive. So my dad kind of came around to to kind of flaunt money and buy my uniforms for me and buy me school supplies and to take me out shopping. And then he'd drop me off after a couple hours of shopping and he'd hand me like $800 in cash and say, okay, see you. And then, you know, every holiday I'd get a check in the mail for like, you know, $800 or $1,000. And then he'd call me every once in a while when he was drunk. And that was pretty much it. Unfortunately, you know, I wasn't close with him until my daughter was born, and I started to bring my daughter down to see him.
Right.
And
But he
then
didn't abuse you, so
unexpectedly,
no.
Pardon?
No abuse, right?
no.
Okay.
But unexpectedly in 2021, my dad was found deceased, and we don't know how he passed. He was deceased for a week, and a neighbor found him, and so we don't know what caused it. They just chalked it up to, you know, a bunch of random stuff and cremated him and just called it a day. And I was really upset, you know, but fortunately I had an amazing stepdad, and my stepdad was very, very protective of me. And it's weird to say, but I was one of those kids that wasn't into boys until like grade 11. I focused on school. Like my grades were like, that was my main focus, was like getting like 99% GPA, focusing on all my grades and doing like advanced English and Spanish and French and just focusing on school. But I will say that when I did turn 16, I got a wish granted from the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and I got a laptop. And my stepdad's like, oh, well, once you get your laptop, we'll get you internet in your room. Well, I made the dumb decision of going on the internet, and I met someone, and it was a predator. I was 16 and he was 22, and he groomed me, and I ended up dating him. And a couple days after dating him, he got arrested because he was lured by police to think that he was, you know, 14. The girl was 14, but it was actually a police officer. He was arrested, and he basically told me that they trapped him, and I fell for it, and I believed him, and I stayed by his side for 3 years of house restrictions, and then 3 years of house arrest with an ankle monitor, and then being a character witness on the stand. But I had to make sure I didn't, you know, say that I was 16 when I met him. And there was like certain things. And then when I finally got away from him, I finally saw what what really truly happened. I was like, I was gaslit. I was manipulated. I was, you know, like,
well, now,
this is not
now
normal.
you see it, and you have a daughter.
Now I see it, yeah. And
I-
like, since I got away from him, he's been nonstop. Like, he goes into jail for like, he does like a 5-year stint, and then he gets, you know, they think he's rehabilitated, give him another chance, let him out. And then he goes out, and he's out for 6 months, and then he gets arrested again, gets picked up, put back in, gets another 8 years. And like this, he's been in, since I've broken up with him, he's been in another 4 times, and he just got out recently. And I had to go get a restraining order so he wouldn't contact me, because I was getting letters a couple years ago from him in jail, and it was terrible. It was the worst thing ever, because I was essayed by him, and he told me and the police he didn't remember that he blacked out. And then when he wrote me a letter one day,
was it only
he
once?
confessed in the letter, and the jail told me that they only read incoming mail.
Was it one? Not only, but was it one time or was it several times?
It was one time.
Okay, just trying
But it was bad enough that police called, like they were called, and they came, and there was multiple vehicles, and it was a big thing. And they basically had him in one room, like in a cell, and I was in a room giving a video statement. And he swore that he blacked out and that he didn't remember anything. And I felt bad. So I went and made the dumb decision of signing a paper to bring to his parole officer, saying that I was not afraid of him and that I was choosing to be around him again, and that I dropped all charges. And then a couple years ago, I got a letter from him. And like I said, I didn't know at the time. I thought they read incoming and outgoing letters here in Canada.
Yeah.
They told me that they keep a scanned copy of the outgoing letters from the inmates to read only in the event that something bad is reported, then they can pull it up. But they don't read it when it gets sent out. They only read the incoming ones to make sure that nothing bad, no pictures, none of that's being added. So I went and I basically contacted them and said, he admitted to something that he did. And he basically sent me this letter saying that he remembers everything and that he remembers doing it. He remembers grabbing me by the throat, lifting he had me by the throat up against a beam in his apartment, and my feet were dangling off the ground, and it was bad. And the fact that he lied to say that he didn't remember it, but he did. Then they still said, oh, well, statute of limitations, it's done with, and you signed the document saying that you weren't afraid of him. So
yeah,
I feel so
I've
bad
heard
for these victims.
Right.
And yes, I am from Canada.
Yeah, she's yeah. Groomed too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
you're definitely groomed and then abused. I mean, it's just, and I've heard that. I mean, you're like the umpteenth person that has told me a story just like that, and the predator didn't have to, wasn't culpable for any of that because of whatever, right? X, Y, and Z.
yeah,
So
and
I
you
hope.
think like his parents knew too that I was
No.
16. I was
Right.
going down to his house. I was going down every weekend, and his parents knew my age. And when he would be at work, I would come in and they'd pick me up at the train station. I'd have dinner with them every Friday night. And then, if he couldn't take me back to the train station to go back home, his parents would drive me. So they knew my age, and they were okay with their son dating someone who was 16 when he was 22. Like,
Yes.
I don't see how that's right.
Now, what was so that's a good thing. I mean, I'm going to get one more. I want to ask you one more thing, and then I'll see if there are any other call-ins. We're at 2 hours. So, although it's only at 6:00, but, okay. So what about your mom? That's Save the Girls. And it says Save the Girls, not the mother. So I always am wondering because, the Naziah case, she didn't have a mom that was caring about her. She had grandma that let her did whatever, apparently. And then we've got Jen Soto that was right there in literally in the same bed. Where was your
Yeah.
mom? I know right now you have a good
So
relationship with your mom. Where was she?
yeah, so my mom worked a lot. My
Right.
mom was a bartender, so she worked a lot. And when she wasn't doing that job, she was doing other jobs like taking care of my grandmother. She was, personal support worker. She was doing a lot of work. So when I wasn't with my mom, I was always at home with my stepdad. And then when I turned 18, I made the decision, oh, I'm going to move out on my own. I want to be on my own. So on my 18th birthday, I packed my stuff up. I moved out and got my own place. And then, it just, everything just started to happen when I moved on my own. When I didn't have that security anymore and I wasn't with mom and I wasn't with stepdad, that's when everything started to happen. I mean, I even had to quickly, not to take more time, but to quickly surmise, I had a good paying job working at a computer store where I did service calls, and I'd go to people's houses and fix their computers. And I got a service call, and it was a friend of mine that I went to grade school and high school with, her cousin. And I went to his house and I walked in and I went to go put my bag down and I went and saw a computer desk there, but there was no laptop, no desktop computer. There was just a desk. And I was like, wait a minute. Next thing you know, he comes up and grabs me from behind and he drags me into the bedroom and I get tied up. And I had to go to court. My mom was there with me. I had to go and fight to get him, charges put against him. And usually when they take the inmate out of the courtroom, they take him up through a special door in the courtroom. I was out and I was going to get something to drink and I was waiting for the elevator and they walked him out in front of me, right past me while I was at the elevators. And I started to back up and I almost fell over the railing and almost fell down to the main lobby. And I was like 4 stories up, 4 layers up. I almost fell right over because I was so scared that I was backing up against the railing that I almost went right over it.
And
because
how
they
old
were
were
not
you?
supposed to bring him out.
How old
Pardon?
were you? How old were you?
I was about 23.
Okay, your man's on here telling. I don't know why he's saying be nice. We all are nice to Bree. It's Bree. Cody's like, anyways, I'm out, y'all. Be nice to Bree. She's my sweetheart. Cody,
Yeah.
we know.
Yeah,
we
he's
know.
very
Don't worry.
protective.
Don't worry. We know you take good care of her. When I text her, you text
Yeah.
her back and say she's taking a nap. Leave her alone. Just kidding. That's not what he says at all. But no,
Yeah, he
I'm-
knows. He knows you
yeah.
guys are all good to me.
Yeah,
And I have to say, I am so thankful that Sharon is saying the same thing that I always tell you, that the way you present these cases, that you have this special way of presenting things, and the way you break it down, that you do it in a way that no other channel can compete. Someone can go and watch any other channel and watch the same stuff you present, but the way you present it, it's totally out of their league, and you present it in such a way that it shows so much compassion, and it shows so much, it just shows how much in your heart you really care for these victims, and we really need more creators like you.
Well, I appreciate
We
that.
can tell that you don't do it for the money. We can tell you don't do it,
because I have a
for
job. Is that how you can
the
tell?
clicks or anything.
No, I appreciate it. You don't have to be nice because you're a mod, everybody. Everyone's like, exactly. But thank you. Taking compliments isn't always easy, right?
I'm not doing this only because I'm a mod. I tell Jay this all the time.
I'm just kidding. Someone says, why did you put shoes behind the door? What does that mean? Bogart says, I love you, Bree. No, but I mean,
I love you too.
this is
You guys are so
powerful.
awesome. And remember, click that like button if you haven't clicked it already.
Yes, and share this.
This is a fan-funded channel, and we love you all, and we hope you all support the channel by clicking that like button and making sure you're subscribed.
It's also important that people hear what happened to you, what happened. I mean, the people that can talk about it, right? The people that have
Yeah.
number one, so a lot of people feel alone nowadays. Everybody's so busy in their life, and it's all
Yeah.
like, your friends are busy. We all grow up, everyone's married, whatever, and everybody's so like lonely and just doing their thing. It's nice to feel like you have a community and people you could talk to about this kind of thing that we can relate.
Definitely. That it took me years of therapy, and I used to think, oh no, therapy is for people that really need it. It's I used to, obviously there's that stereotype that therapy's for crazy people, or therapy's for really traumatic things and stuff like that. But just having someone to talk to, so you're not bottling it up, because I used to bottle it up so bad that the smallest thing would make my top just fly off and I'd burst.
Right.
And I always tell everyone, and I will say it again, if anybody needs anyone to talk to, regardless of what it's about, even if you're just having a bad day, even if you're just you're in pain, I can relate. I have autoimmune deficiency. I'm immunocompromised. I have a lot of pain disorders. I can relate. If you need someone to talk to, I'm in the Facebook group. I'm very approachable. Send me a message.
Yeah.
I will give you an ear. I will give you a shoulder. I won't judge. I will just listen and just be there for you to support you.
And I appreciate that about her, about Bree, that helps out, and all the ladies that are the mods in chat, because they all help support the guilty of crime community, because I can't do that. Like, I don't have time. Half the time I don't even go on Facebook. I have a Facebook and I'll go on there and check it, but I have like a ton of messages. Sorry, people that I haven't checked, but I can't do Facebook, Instagram, Discord, what other things, YouTube. It's hard to check all the messages. So the ladies do that, and they are very approachable and very helpful. So you guys, keep coming back to not only this community for support, but I want you guys to, when you hear these stories and we're breaking down true crime, that's what happens. It happens all the time. It's not unbelievable. It's what's happening, and people just don't want to admit it or talk about it, but it definitely happens.
Yeah. This
It
stuff
definitely
does
happens.
not discriminate. It does not, it certainly does not discriminate against gender or race
Nothing.
or
Community.
age or
Nope.
anything. And the mods, we all stick together. We're all very friendly. We keep in touch with each other. We're a team, and we all try to work together and try to take on different tasks so that we can try and lighten the load for Jay, because Jay has a full-time job. She has a family, and then she has her second family, which is YouTube. So
Right.
we try to,
And
lighten the load for Jay.
Yeah. Juggling with the mods, you guys. But all right. Does anyone else want to call in? I do have 170 people still in chat. If you guys want to call in anymore, we can do one more call, or I can do.
Someone's got to want to call
Someone's
in.
got to want to call
Come
in.
on, Stan. sweetie. Someone should call in. It's Friday night.
Yeah, and if you guys don't, we could listen to
Oh,
the.
Foxy says she's calling.
Oh, I haven't got to hear Fox. She says I know I crack a lot of jokes, but I'm also here if anyone needs to chat. I'm calling. Hold on. She said, "Hold on."
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm calling. I like her sense of humor too. Leanne, did you
She
get my
cracked
phone
me
number?
up in the chat.
Right, we're gonna need to do. There she is. All right, Brie. I'm gonna end and accept.
Call from
Sorry,
Vince.
me. She said me. It's for me. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Is this Foxy?
No, it's even better.
It's even
But
better.
don't
Who?
tell her that.
No. Who's calling?
No, it's even better. Even better. Is this sinful?
Oh, is it? You bet. And
Yes.
Oh well. Now go ahead. Now I gotta decline. Foxy, go for it. Talk.
Okay, girl. Okay, so I have to mute you on the channel.
Yes, please do.
And so
Sorry.
I'm just listening to you on the phone. I don't know if there's a delay,
No, I can
but
hear
I
you
wanted
fine.
to share the event from last night that I took my sweet little mother-in-law to, because talking about community, talking about our voices, talking about what we can do, coming from a similar background to Bree and Sharon and others on here,
Right.
and overcoming, and then, meeting people that maybe they haven't gone through all of the horrible crap. They still feel like Leanne said, they still have empathy.
Right.
Like you do, Jay. And I learned a long time ago that people don't really have to go through all of that horrible crap.
Right.
To have that goodness in their soul and connect.
And thank
And
God.
if we can, right? And if we can all do that on some level a little bit every day, it really does make a difference. And so I don't know if people know here, but I have a daughter with special needs. She's mosaic, Down syndrome.
Yes.
And going to school and blah, blah, blah. And we had kind of an epiphany. And so this kind of led me to this event. It was really cute, called Galentine's Event.
Right.
Where you took your best friend, whoever your best friend was, who your gal is, right?
Yeah,
It was
that was cool.
super sweet.
That was what you sent me yesterday, right?
Right? So
Yeah.
I surprised her. She did not know, even until we were in the line to the place. She had no idea what was going on. It just happened to happen on her 66th birthday. I lost my mother when I was very young, and most people don't have the joy of a good mother-in-law, and I have been so blessed with her. And she, in so many ways, has done the things I wish my mother was alive to still do.
Right.
Because as a child victim, it takes us a lot longer. I think from my time, I was born in 72.
Right.
To me, the sadness part is that this stuff is still going on in pockets of places, and it makes me sad. But at the same time, I see technology as actually being a boon and getting more awareness. And I think
Agreed.
that in the next 25 to 50 years, it's going to be such a stigma to even be associated in any way, shape, or form that it will be a lot different than it was for us 25 and 50 years back.
Absolutely.
That is my hope.
That I agree, and that's why we need to do something now. That's why we have to talk about it now.
Exactly. And this event I went to was so pivotal. The whole point of it, this lady that runs this, it's a little fashiony boutique. It's a place I haven't gone to because it's so fancy. I just look, stand outside because I'm poor. And
we all are, girl.
That's the best way. It's okay.
Yeah, we're all like that.
Right. She did this for the local emergency support shelter in my county. And they provide free services to victims and survivors of domestic violence, sexual abuse, and other crimes.
I saw that. That was cool.
Right? They have coordinated entry access points for victims who are fleeing domestic violence. They provide services to the families and friends of victims and survivors, helping them address their own reactions to victimization so they can effectively support the victims.
and it does it for 60 days. They get shelter, they get legal help, they get hygiene, they get court assistance.
Where is this?
This is where I live in Cowlitz County in beautiful Southwest Washington off the Columbia River, right above Portland and Vancouver, and along the I-5, where my house is right off the I-5, right off the state park, so Kelso, Washington. And it's just so wonderful to see this, because I've been aware of this place for a while now. And I've wanted to do volunteer work, and it just never worked out. And to be at this event and see the people, and the models were a lot of the ladies that have come out of the program. And it was so heartening to see these people saying, you know what, all of the ladies in the store wanted to do something and do a community collaboration. And I thought, you know, that's what we're a big community, but we're trying to raise awareness,
that was
and
awesome.
get the word out. And
I saw that, and that, I mean, if they had something, I don't know about any of that, but but if they had something like, I don't think they do in San Jose. I haven't seen anything like that. They should.
right.
There's a
And we
lot
should,
of
you know, maybe
homeless.
take that time to check. Maybe that's something I can do, is come up with a list of places in different towns that people want to send the towns, and I could look it up, and we could make a list of safe places for people like that. I mean, how awesome would that be?
No, it would
To
be. I
help
saw
people
that,
have
and I was like,
awareness
I
of things.
wondered where it was, and here in San Jose, there's a lot of homeless people because, right, we're in Silicon Valley, and you know all the
Yeah.
big companies are right there. There's Yahoo and Google and
Yeah.
Apple. I mean, literally.
Yeah.
And so the homeless people just camp out with the tent, and I see a lot of women too. A lot of
There's
women
a
that
lot of, you know, they said they served 600 women last year. They served 1,400 kids. This is a shelter that only has 10 beds.
Right.
And I know they only have like 2 rooms for like the bigger families. And they'll have to sometimes shelter out to people. They have like, they have another one that's like an hour away, down off of the, you know, down the way. So it's very, for the people who, like in Bree's situation where they have to go very incognito.
Right.
And
Yeah.
not have home, you know, people coming after them or anything like that. And I've always wanted to do something like that. So, I mean,
Well,
I
definitely
think,
we can talk about that, and make, I mean, I have a pretty good community page where there's a lot of outreach, so we can put something together and let people know. I definitely want to do that. I thought that was cool, and I want to know about that for around here. It's, I see so many women, not personally that I know, but just because of all the
no,
homeless people.
we know each other because we're sisters.
Right.
The
Right.
sisterhood, right, of the traveling pants.
Right. Oh man, girl. All right, now we're
So,
now
you know,
let
that's all I
yeah.
wanted to say and share that. Thank you
Well,
so much, Jay, for being a voice and a place to be
yeah.
safe, and a voice
Thank you for
for us,
everything you
the
do.
voiceless ones that, I mean, you know, goodness sakes, it's horrible to have to go through and fish and find and
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
at the
it
same
is.
time, it is cleansing in a way, because we're actually being able to be proactive, and
Yeah.
hopefully we're hearing, people will start finally going, you know what, that's not really kosher, that's not normal, that's not, I don't care what I have to do or say or to who, I'm going to scream it, and you're going
Right.
to effing listen to me.
Well, that's what we got to do, right? You got to say it out, be loud. We're all loud
Yeah.
around here.
Yeah, I'm black and I'm proud, which apparently my brother did DNA and he found out we have even more than we thought before. So that's even funnier to me. And Danish. So I don't know what that means. I'm like a Oreo or Milano. I don't know.
Well,
I'm from Capri, so I suppose, you know, goat herders over there.
So funny. Go get your Friday night on. I'm gonna take, I think, one more call, Foxy.
Yeah, take
Sin,
Foxy.
good
She has
talking
something
with
to
you.
say good.
She has something to say. I want to hear it. And then I haven't even eaten. What did I eat today? Not much, and I'm hungry. So
All right.
let's get
One
one
more
more
call
cup.
and then we'll go. Okay.
And I love you
Thank you. I
guys.
love
Thank
you.
you, Sin.
Bye.
Bye. All right.
Bye. Mushy mushy.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So funny. That was a great call. All the ladies, everybody that's called in tonight, I appreciate you and the courage. I see people, I saw, who did I just see? Miss Odin. you know, I don't know what part of California you're in, but prayers to you. And if you just want to talk about it, you know, we're here. We have a good community. Rachel Burton said I was almost thrown down the stairs by my abusive ex. Was that recently? All right, here we go. Let's see if it's Foxy. It's 661.
Call from
Foxy Amazon.
Ooh. Now we got Foxy on the phone. Hello, Foxy. What you got for us?
That's right. You got Foxy on the phone.
Hello.
Yeah, since being a cutter butter.
Right? She cut right in line. She said, I'm going to dial faster. She's
I
a
know.
ninja.
Geez, I'm like trying to read the number off the screen and dial at the same time. She's just like, bam, right in front of me.
That's why I did 1516. 538, 1516, right in a row. 1516. Go. It's a smart number. What you got?
All right. So I know I've noticed that a lot of people talk a lot about like CPS, or here in California, we call it DCFS, Department of Child and Family Services.
Right.
So, so they are not the like saviors that everybody thinks that they are or should be. There is so much. Okay, so I don't even really know where to begin with this, except for it's a train wreck. It's the biggest train wreck like you will ever see, and it's not just in California. It's all 50 states.
Agreed.
I guess the first problem is they're overrun. There are way too many children who need help, and there are not enough people who are willing to go and be social workers for a number of reasons. Number one, has to be because of all of the bureaucracy. There's so much red tape for everything.
Right.
Number
pay
two,
sucks, right?
Oh yeah, the pay sucks. The pay sucks, and not only does the pay sucks, in order to be a therapist, which is what I was, you have to do what was it? I think it's 1,500 hours while you're still in school, and that's free, like free therapy that you have to give out. Then once you graduate, you have to do another 1,500 free hours before they start like paying you the good money. I luckily got a paid internship, but my internship was with the Department of Child and Family Services, essentially. I actually worked with a different company. They were contracted with DCFS, but they're essentially partners. We're both paid by the state of California.
Preach it. I heard about this from the advocate of the Madeline Soto case in Florida. Exact same thing. It's like a mirror coming at me. So it's because they're contracting it out. It's trash. They don't vet the people. They don't have funding. But go ahead.
That's part of it. So
right. There's a lot more.
Yeah, the funding is the, I'll call it like the bureaucratic or the like the government piece.
Right.
We definitely need more funding. That's always need more funding. You need to pay people better. You need to pay your therapist, okay?
Right.
Just the fact that like when I stop and think about how many hours I work for free, and now I get it. I understand they want people who want to be therapists because you have a lot of power when you're a therapist. They want people who actually want to go and do that, not people who are going to go and abuse that power.
Right.
So I kind of get it, but at the same time, like, how are you supposed to live? I was a single mom when my daughter was very young when I was still a therapist.
So I was wondering, is that why a lot of people, do you think, and Miss Oden, yes, Gabriel Fernandez, heartbreaking case.
Oh,
I think I cry. I don't cry very often, but it brought a tear when I watched that, and I was like, why did I watch this right now?
That's like 20 minutes from my house.
Yeah, there's so I know I saw the 661 number, so I knew that area. I was like, oh, it's Foxy 661. Yeah, heartbreaking case. So what I was going to ask you is that why you think there's so many private therapists? I noticed. So the therapists that are able to help people that can afford it, there's a lack of good ones. There's a ton of private therapy, but it's so expensive. It's so expensive. It's like freaking $285 an hour, and I'm in California. So mind you, you're in California too, but I mean, I've done therapy before and I don't use Kaiser because I can't get an appointment except every 2 months. What's that going to do? Right. So I try to find therapy somewhere else and it's almost $300 an hour. Like, but no, the great resources, there are no great resources. They're trash. So what you're saying is, on the other side of it.
Yeah, there's
yeah.
Access is a problem for everybody, not just like DCFS.
Right.
But if we're talking like DCFS specifically,
it's even worse.
So number one, they don't have enough in-house people to actually do all of the therapy and things that they need. I worked with something called IFCCS, which is Intensive Field Capable Clinical Services, which means that I didn't have an office. My office was my car, and I drove and saw all my clients. They were usually at group homes, or sometimes they were in foster care. Occasionally, they'd be with a relative.
Right.
All of my kiddos, that's what I call my kiddos.
Yeah.
They were all, they all had a parent who was either incarcerated or in the DCFS process, meaning like they had their child taken away from them and they were in the process of trying to get them back, like fixing whatever it is they did wrong to get the kid taken away.
Right. They favor the mothers though quite a bit when during the wrong times, it seems to me. And I don't know if that's like all over everywhere, but California does that. Are you still working in that? Like CPS?
So no, I teach now.
Okay.
I had to quit. It was literally that job was making me hate people, like hate the entire human race. I was going and like trying to help these kids, and they overload me. So me as a therapist, I'm supposed to be available essentially 24/7. So if you have a high intensity client, which is my clients were all that, they were all AWOL, cutting, S side, that stuff, unaliving themselves, all those things. I was getting all clinical, and then I was like, no, I got to stop and use my YouTube words.
Right. I know. I don't like that either. Trust me. But no,
so I'm dealing with like the kids who very, very seriously need help.
Right.
And the system is either jacking them around, like can't find a place for them, or the place that they should go, they have a bunch of stupid, it's all bureaucracy, dumb red tape things.
Right.
For example, I had a kid who he should have gone to his aunt's house. His aunt had everything set up for him, the house, the room, everything. But she didn't have a slider, like a screen on her sliding glass door.
Yeah.
And missing one smoke detector. And I was like, oh my God, we'll get you a smoke detector. I was like, and a screen to the back door? I'm like, the kid's 9. What's the screen going to do? I was just so baffled. They put the kid in a foster home as opposed to with a family member. You see what I'm saying?
Right. No, I do. So, I like what you're saying, and I see Miss Odin. I see everyone chiming in. I'm from Connecticut. I'm from New Jersey. Florida, I know a lot about, and I'm in California. So, it's it's all over the United States. It's a problem. Yes, it's a problem.
It's a problem.
And when we're talking about a problem, that's why things like this happen. The Naziah Harris case, and even the Madeline Soto case, I have a feeling, and I'm going to say a very strong feeling, that she told somebody, if not many people. I'm sure Jen knew, and at some point she just turned a blind eye and let it be because it was giving her whatever she needed out of it. But I cannot believe that Madeline Soto went from the age that she did. I don't know. It's debatable if it was 6 or 7, all the way up until 13, that she didn't tell somebody that somebody else didn't know. And I'm telling you that it's a problem because nobody did anything about it. Right. But
absolutely.
That's an isolated case that's getting a ton of attention. But there's so many other cases like that, like Naziah Harris. This one's crazy though. Right? When you say Naziah Harris, you're like, everybody knew and nobody did anything. So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking
you asked
about.
me you asked me about favoring the mother versus the father. So here's the thing, what happens. So when you report, so first off, let me even back up a step from that. It depends on who's reporting. There's a difference between me as a professional mandated reporter reporting and like you as a concerned citizen or family member reporting. Right. So if you call, all you have to do is just call them, you tell them whatever information you have. They say, okay, we'll look into it. Do you want to remain anonymous or can we take your info? They always ask that.
Right.
And then that's it. That's all you have to do. But me, as a mandated reporter, I have something completely separate that I have to do. So first, I have to call in just like you would. That's like the regular 800 number.
Right.
Give them a call. But then I have to tell them who I am. Like, okay, I'm a therapist. I work with this organization. I'm a mandated reporter. I'm going to need a report number.
Right.
So they go, okay. Then I give them all the information. Then they decide, that person right there, whoever is on that shift,
right,
they decide whether or not it is a reportable offense.
Wow.
So you can call on Monday and talk to one person and they won't take that report. They'll go, oh, that's not reportable. All right. And then they won't give me a number and they'll go, if anything else comes up, call us back.
Right.
Click buy.
Yeah.
Then I just document it in my notes, in the chart.
Right.
That I had that conversation, whatever.
Right.
Then I can call back. I can call back the next day, and it'll be a different person who's working the call desk. That person will go, "Oh yeah, this is reportable."
Right.
Cha-ching. Right. Check it.
Well, listen.
And then
listen.
Yeah.
Let me just say one thing. Two words. One name. Susan Powell. Okay. Susan Powell. If you guys don't know the Susan Powell case, I'm gonna just bring it back to that real quick. Do you know what happened with Susan Powell? Gone missing. Boys got taken by the dad because she never came back. They went camping. Boys were like 3 and 4, 4 and 5. They all went camping. They told the cops, we went camping and mommy never came out. She's with the angels or the whatever. So CPS is coming and checking on the boys because there's no body and they have a suspicion that the husband took her out, buried her, never brought her back. So the CPS person that's like the mandating reporter goes out to personally check and make sure she's at the door, and she calls it in because she goes to check on the kids. The husband opens the door. This is Susan Powell case, if you don't know. She's at the door. The guy slams the door. She calls the place and says, hey, this guy's acting weird. Something's going on. And there was already a bunch of red flags. Then he goes and just takes all of their lives, and they're not even taking they're literally not paying attention to her. So there's more to this case, right? A lot more. But the whole thing was this person, this worker, let's pretend that was you, that you actually give a crap about your job and you try to do something about it. That's what happens. So then that's another frustrating thing, right? I mean, yeah, you heard of the case. So I always like citing cases. Anyway, you should look that up. You should look that up, Foxy. The Susan Powell case. It's still like it's never been truly solved because he just took all of their lives right with her at the door. They didn't listen to her. So no wonder you're frustrated. If you actually do give a damn and you report like the ants on Neziah Harris case, they just write it down and don't do shit.
Well, then there's also that danger aspect of it too, right?
Right.
So,
Right. I just opened another can of worms. Right. We got a few more minutes.
As the therapist, right, you're supposed to help arrange family therapy, especially if the parent's trying to regain custody of their child.
Right.
So you have to reach out to that parent, and a lot of times the parents will have a bad relationship with the worker, right, or several workers, because that's actually the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is going back to why it favors the mom versus the dad.
Last topic, because I do want to know that because that did happen with Madeline Soto and with Jen Soto and Tyler Wallace. 100% that happened. I'm just gonna say in my opinion, but I do know. Okay.
Oh, but I mean, as far as like in California, this is how I know what happens. All right. So when there's a complaint made and like they take the report and it's a valid report, they will send an investigator out. So first you have the worker who took the initial report. That person always stays involved because they took the initial report. They're just kind of like a, I don't know what to call them. They're not super involved, but if you ever have a question, like about the very first contact, you always have to go back and talk to that point of contact person, right? Then there's the worker who's assigned to the case. Then there is the intake worker. Then there's the investigator. Okay. Yeah. Then there's the supervisor. All right. Then there's me, who's the actual mental health therapist.
Right.
So you have all of these people's opinions, and like theoretically mine as a therapist, and they tell everybody that's what says in all paperwork, mine is supposed to be the most important, but they don't listen to me and they don't give a crap because whatever I say doesn't fit with whatever the bureaucracy needs to keep it like semi-functioning, because it doesn't really function.
Right.
You know?
No, I mean,
So,
understood. Yeah, I mean, it's a huge. I'm glad we don't have like some of the people from Florida, even though I know Anna Fleming is from Florida. Sleeping in class, absence from school, poor grades were not reported, but considered school issues. Right. Man, if we had them, we'd be on there for like 3 more hours because those ladies are just like about that topic right there, about this topic actually, and they're all the way across the world. So I mean, it's it's a universal thing, yeah.
But just the manner in which we go about protecting children,
right?
It doesn't work. And
yes,
personally, I feel, bottom line, personally, I feel that we as communities need to get involved again. We need to do like neighborhood watch type stuff, you know, be moms to other kids. If you notice other kids who are out or friends with your kids and that maybe their parents are not so great, like step in a little bit, you know, ask some questions, see if there's something that they need, or even just guidance. Right? A lot of times that's all these kids need is just somebody to tell them like, yo, that's not cool, or hey, don't do that. Or hey, I did something like that and this is what happened.
Right. All right, now we're talking about the Susan Powell case, which is great. Maybe at some point I'll cover it, but no, I wanted to because that was, I mean, that's like just a good. I just like citing cases when we're talking about a topic because there's so many cases out there that still need awareness, right? I mean, we're talking individual right now. We don't know, you know, little Susie Smith that just got taken away 15 minutes ago. That we don't, you know, I'm just making this up, but however many minutes somebody's being abused, somebody's being taken, right? This problem is huge. But yeah, I love citing cases, but yeah. He held the knife to her throat. Yeah, but now everyone's like, next time when we do this, we'll go like just a whole topic night and start talking.
I'll call back. I'm happy to call back whenever and talk about this. But
yeah, that would be cool.
I did want to I saw in the chat that I think it was Sharon said that she's glad that it didn't break me, because I was saying that like I was really starting to hate people, because every day I was like, how are these people, how do they do this to their children? Like it's their own, like it's a piece of you. How the hell do you do these kind of things? You know, like pimping your kids out, and like you read these reports, the DCFS reports are worse than any horror novel you will ever read. I will say that right now.
And they do nothing? What happens? You get 3 times? What is it? Like, I don't get it.
Well,
it's a horror report. That's why I want to talk.
That's all arbitrary too. What do you I guess you call them, like strikes or whatever? Like 1 strike, 2 strike, that it's arbitrary. Like what is a strike for one person is not a strike for somebody else. So I could tell you a story, like a personal anecdote with my aunt and what happened between her husband and her son, he was born blind, so he was already disabled.
Right.
Oh my God. Ridiculous. This man has been, not the son, but my aunt's ex-husband has been in jail numerous times for rugs, things like that.
Yeah.
And she had to go to a mental health facility because she had a little bit of a breakdown because he was an abusive prick.
Right.
And then they sent her son to live with him. They gave him the custody. And I'm like, how? He's like a two-striker, like literally like violent criminal, like two-striker.
You're like, what
how
did
did
you
they give him custody?
Right. What was the precedence for that? What made you determine that that was going to be the right thing to do? Right. And every single case is going to be different every single time. Oh man.
So I mean, it's mostly really it's just there's too many freaking chefs, right? There's too many chefs in the kitchen. You don't need 8,000 people. You don't need an investigator and a caseworker and a supervisor and this and this and that. You don't need like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, no, I do.
You don't need 8,000 people staying for one kid, you know?
Right.
Get one or two good people in there who can get it on track, get it cracking, get it going, get the kids safe. That's all you need.
Well, that's us, right? We're like bottom line people. We just cut to we don't need 8,000. We can have 2,000 really good people with 100 of them being the leaders, and this may work, right? Bottom line shit, right? And they're not doing that. They're making, and I could go on a whole other tangent about the system, right? Them using that for jobs and not really doing it, and then we could start talking about jail and the prison system and incorporate that with the CPS, because CPS, that whole the whole Jarvis Butts thing, I mean, we only saw 5 reports, but those are the ones that go ahead.
Oh my God. Okay, so this is perfect. This is a perfect example. So
yes, please.
About those women calling, even if they called CPS. So here's an example. I'll give you just one example of something that, to me, absolutely abuse to a child, but CPS didn't think so. So I had a 16-year-old client who is hanging out with her father.
Right.
Her father, this is her biological father, is having an affair on her mother. And is telling the 16-year-old daughter explicit details about this affair, like positions, how many times, where it's at, like gross things that like no daughter wants to hear from her father.
It sounds like grooming. It sounds like grooming to me.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And I called.
It's absolutely.
And I'm like,
grooming.
this is sexual abuse. Like
Yeah,
no,
it's
first off,
grooming.
that's just gross. Like,
It's seeing how
you know,
long
like
it-
nobody.
Well, seeing how long it
No
takes.
daughter wants to hear that.
Of course not, because I mean, I watch a lot of channels with predators, and that's what they do. They want to pique their interest, get them excited, and see how far it goes. And it takes a little while, and they start asking questions, and then it starts happening. That's part of grooming. That's part of the Duck Duck Groom book and the different things. It's messed up.
Yeah, there's so much messed up stuff, but that's just one example. So if you're wondering why people call 3 times and they're like, hey, there's some weird things going on. This guy's like watching porn in the room or whatever with these kids around, and they're
they
like,
want to desensitize they want to desensitize, and it's I swear, just get like look up grooming process, the top 10 things, and that's gonna be on there.
I'm aware.
Yeah,
but
no,
to everybody in chat.
Yeah, the people in chat are saying that. They're like, they want to desensitize. Yeah, so I'm just telling them, like, it's definitely in that list of grooming, and it takes a while. I mean, just buying a kid a toy, buying them, here's some balloons, and you're being nice. Oh, I bought you extra whatever, and that starts out with that, and then that, and then that, and people just have to be aware of that. They have to stop thinking people are being nice.
and then the afterwards too, like people don't understand. I can't tell you how much I wanted to like pull my hair out some days when you have a child who's like okay with her mom like pimping her out to her boyfriend and his friends because it helps them pay rent. It's okay. I'm helping them pay rent. And they say it just like plain face, like, what, you know,
well,
like, you know,
yeah. I
ain't
mean,
nothing.
If you talk to Naziah, well, we didn't have to talk to
I
Naziah.
know.
We read the text
I saw
messages.
poor girls.
The text
Snapchats
messages
and stuff.
Yeah,
Or not Snapchat, TikTok.
We saw her TikToks dancing around, knowing that the men, and those text messages. Oh, I'm coming. Oh, honey, I want. Oh, yeah, you want a blowjob? Whatever. I'm just saying, like, no 12-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old should be. So yeah, if you would have had a conversation with her, she would have probably schooled you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like she knew way too much.
Yeah, she absolutely did. Absolutely. No 13-year-old should be having conversations like that
Absolutely.
with anybody, not even with another little 13-year-old boy.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, well, that's a whole other topic, guys. So
Yeah.
boys and girls need to be protected. And apparently, Foxy, next time we have a call-in show, you definitely have to be back on. Everyone's like, did this person got a podcast? And this one? All right, you guys, it is. I love you all, but my daughter and my wife got home like 45 minutes ago, and I want to hang out with them, and I'm hungry.
Go eat.
Happy.
Go feed the child.
Well, my
Have to feed the child.
wife fed the child. There's two moms, luckily, but I want to hang out with them. It's Friday night. So,
yeah.
That being said, you guys, I love you all. Foxy, you can stay on here until I hit the end of the stream, so you can say bye to everyone if you want.
Yeah,
All right?
I get to be co-host tonight. I'm
You get to
co-host
be
again.
Foxy Amazon. It's gonna be awesome if I ever get to stand next to you because you're gonna be a foot taller, and it's gonna be like Jay and Foxy. I'll have my arm up there, and you know.
I will set my boobs on your head.
Yes, and I'll take it. My hair will hold them up just fine. All right, we'll just be like this, like the Foxy J show. All right, guys. I love you guys, and Foxy and I are both in California, so that's a possibility at some point.
It is a possibility.
Do a meet and greet, y'all. I do want to go to some of the conventions for the shows and things like that, but we got to hit the like button, subscribe, and share to get the channel out there. Right? I love you guys.
Yeah, don't be janky.
Yes, don't be
janky.
janky.
Hit the like button.
Oh, don't meander over there. Get your butts over there and share it. All right. Love you guys. This was a really good first. Well, we did a call in first, but this was more like we definitely got some call ins and topics, and you guys opened up. So thank you. I appreciate you, Foxy. Have a good night. And
Night, crew.
You guys soon.
Love you. Bye.
Love you guys. Bye.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty?